Avatar Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
What is happening in Jacksonville on a Friday? Another beautiful one here in the River City and beyond, because we welcome everyone in all over the United States and globally that listen and watch Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Sunshine and rainbows on the Jaguars, or miserable as always and just say tanking. That's it. End of story. Okay, let's go home. Let's go to the golf course. Or can you find anything in the Jaguars' schedule that gets you a little bit excited at all, or at least has you believing a little bit? And the schedule does shape up pretty decent for the Jags if you want to have a little bit of hope, a little bit of faith, a little bit of believability in Gardner Minshew and maybe a young roster. They are set up to maybe get off to a somewhat decent start. We'll talk about what the ceiling is for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll also go through the AFC South. How do you think the schedule shakes out for the rest of the South? What's the division look like? And I've got two exercises. The most talked about team right now in the league is Tampa. Way to get relevant. Just go get Tom Brady. That's it. Simple as that. And they have become relevant. They have become the team everybody's talking about. No doubt. They get the most airtime. They did last night on NFL Network and ESPN during the schedule release. And probably rightfully so when you get the best player to ever play the game. So they've done that. What is their record going to be? Because they have a very tough schedule at home, especially. They got a lot of good opponents, but they got a lot of them at home. So I wonder how you feel about that. And then the New England Patriots, without Brady, what do they look like? How do you feel about what they might do? And a lot of that might be, how do you feel about the rest of the AFC East? Because it's an interesting time for the Patriots. Not only do they lose Brady, you'll wonder a little bit about their roster. But on top of that, the AFC East looks more formidable than it has in a long, long time collectively, because they've made some investments in Miami. They think they have their quarterback in New York, and Buffalo looks like they're coming on. So what do you think about the AFC East? Those are the two most fascinating teams to me, because Tampa has not been that relevant, and the Patriots have been the most relevant. So where do you see these teams going along with the AFC South? Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos on a Friday. We got a little UFC in town. The headliner, they made weight. All that is good to go. Wasn't a big press conference for it because we don't do that these days. But you're going to break down some of these fights. It's a great card. If you like MMA, if you like the UFC, and you listen to that, and Austin does it better than anybody, obviously, in town, that's a no-brainer. So we'll talk a little bit about the fight coming up, the actual fights. And then just in general, once again, worth revisiting that live sports happens tomorrow in the United States for the first time in basically a couple of months, and it starts right here in Jacksonville, Florida. What's happening?
Not too much, man. How was that schedule reveal last night? Because I'll be honest, I didn't watch it.
I didn't lock in, but I had it on in the background. I was watching for a bit, and I found myself watching a couple of hours in still, maybe just because there was nothing else on.
Sure.
And I wasn't really like sitting there waiting for them to talk about the Jags. In fact, I didn't think they would talk about the Jags at all.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, it's like, why would you really? Are you going to break down the Jags schedule?
Yeah.
Now, you did have 3 hours. You could break down the JV schedule for East Providence High School if you wanted to in a 3-hour schedule show. But they spent like 30 seconds on the Jags. That was it. Yeah. They talked about Tua and Minshew. This was the ESPN version. That's
because we already knew the schedule, so it wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
The schedule reveal is a lot Tampa. A lot of Brady. The headliners, man. I mean, look at the way they do the primetime games. There's like 6-7 teams, I think it is. 5 of them have primetime heavy games in prime time, which I'm okay with. This isn't like a fair and balanced, hey, let's give everybody a piece of the pie on prime time. Earn it. The teams that are not on prime time, haven't really earned the right to be on prime time a lot. The teams that are on prime time have marquee players or have earned the right.
The Bears have 5 prime time games, though.
Well, it's a big market, and they do
But
have.
have they earned 5 prime time games?
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. They have not. They have not, but they do have a lot of star power with
Khalil Mack.
Yeah, well, Trubisky is a star because of his second overall pick and the ability to flop.
Yeah.
Foles is a Super Bowl winner, so that storyline is big. Listen, the Jags were bigger and more popular when they had Foles last year because he was a storyline.
Sure.
I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback in the world, but he's a storyline. I mean, that's what primetime is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about stories, and it's about, obviously, marketability. So I would say, yes, that probably is less earned and more – Chicago's, the third biggest market in the country.
Sure, yeah. Listen, so obviously we kind of know how the schedule shook down. It is what it is there. We'll break it down later, give our predictions of how many wins, how many losses. But I consider yesterday it's like the Super Bowl for, social media teams for the NFL. Right?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, your schedule's going to get revealed. This is your Super Bowl. This is your chance to show your creativity. This is your chance to kind of show, especially during the quarantine time where you have some time in your hands to go on the computer, drop the schedule and show a cool video. I got to ask you, what'd you think about the Jaguars, release video? And shout out to Stuart Webb, Action Sports Jack Stuart Webb, who did a great job, sharing all of these and breaking them down. He was kind of my confidant, if you will, of seeing all these videos.
He did. I saw how the Jags were interpreted in other schedules. Yes, Stuart did a nice job of sharing that. I like the Jags. I like the creativity of it. I think they all have done a pretty good job with those over the years. It got a little muddy last year with the game show stuff, but it had moments.
I didn't mind the game show. You know me. I'm not a big fan of cats, like house cats.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm
I
allergic.
didn't like the idea of it to start. Yeah. But then I thought they did a pretty good job.
They were funny. I'm just not a big cat person. I mean, listen, I get it. That video wasn't for me, right? Because I'm not a big cat guy. There's a lot of big cat people out there, so it is what it is.
Well, they are the Jaguars, too.
They are the Jaguars, yeah. I mean, I get it, man. I'm just saying from my perspective, I'm not a fan of the kitty cats.
Yeah, but I think Jags have done a pretty good job with those. I guess there's what Stuart was saying, there's some really stale ones. Some don't even try.
First of all, the Bears one, I mean, you want to talk about tanking the season? The Chicago Bears. It was like a weird, animated thing, and I guess the story behind that one is there's an artist in Chicago who's, really well-known among the millennials. Once again, not for us, okay? And then the Houston Texans, you want to talk about O'Brien and his just, demeanor and his ways kind of infecting the culture. They literally had just kids draw pictures of who they're playing and put them on the fridge.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and support local businesses and share like that, but you're just going to have kids draw on a piece of paper and say, this is our schedule. Just tanking. Once again, Houston Texans tanking. My favorite, did you see the Carolina Panthers one?
I don't think I did.
You want to talk about that might get nominated for an Oscar for best short film. Best short film.
They were all coming out at the same time, right at 7:30. Obviously, was when they all blasted. And I didn't watch them all.
So basically, there was kind of two. There's two themes for a lot of them, right? There's the quarantine, staying inside.
Yeah,
and then
there
was
the Chargers had other people in different cities.
Yep,
have a message,
well,
right?
And then there was other one. So then the other big theme one was kind of celebrating, the businesses around the city, heroes and everything, like that. So the Panthers went with the quarantine route, and let me just say, man, it was good. It wasn't necessarily the most funniest thing. There's little jabs in there, the Atlanta Falcons and everything, but just the way it was produced and everything, classic.
Now, was the Saints thing that I saw before the schedule come out, was that just a precursor, or did they do something additional when their schedule came out? Did you see that 2.5-minute video the Saints did
with the workers?
The workers,
yeah.
But so that
was the video.
That was their thing, because that came out earlier in the day. Is my point. That didn't come out and reveal of the schedule. That had come out earlier.
Maybe it was some different,
which was very good. But did you see the 283 reasons on that one?
Yeah,
still got to dig.
Of course, man. Those poor Falcons,
trying to give everybody a hug.
Those poor Falcons.
Even amidst a hug, the Falcons.
I did see that.
Take it. 28-3.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. So, and in the Panthers video, the kid goes outside and he sees a plane flying. It was Flight 283. for the Falcons.
Very good.
Yeah. So.
I feel for that because I feel like if the Red Sox were around during social media, I mean, like if they were still struggling during social media, they would have been the butt of a lot of that.
No, for sure.
Like if teams had to do a schedule, it would have been like Billy Buckner's ground ball on
just on repeat.
Loop.
Yeah. But no, overall, man, like I'd probably give the Jaguars one. I'd give it a B, maybe a B minus. But once again, I mean,
I thought
it was
the
good.
baby one was really good a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
I thought that was their best one.
Yep. Sure.
And you can't lose with babies.
Yeah.
It's like usually babies and dogs you can't lose. Cats,
they're not for everybody.
Hey, overall, we avoided the discussion, even though we kind of had seen it. Thanks, Dilla, on the yesterday. And again, I did not see the schedule, by the way, until after the show in complete fashion.
Sure.
For sure, to confirm.
Yep.
But it's a favorable schedule for the Jags. Now, it's got like murderer's row in the second half.
Yeah.
But just a quick thought or two on the schedule. For this football team, the way it's built, for a team that really doesn't have a ton of expectation, for a team that, once again, everybody considered Michael Lombardi again today, tanking, for all
That's supposed to be your boy, too, man.
That's not my guy.
That's the guy that talked you up when you drafted Diggs, wasn't it? Or no, you drafted Kinlaw. Didn't we always play his video when you drafted Kinlaw?
No. You're talking about Tannenbaum from the Jets.
Oh, my bad.
No,
okay.
Lombardi hates the Jags.
Oh.
Has always hated the Jags.
He's a former GM, though, too, right?
He is.
Okay.
I think he was with Cleveland and the Patriots at one time or another.
Okay.
I think.
When they weren't good, though.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But yeah, he really. Oh, well, listen, Jags are low-hanging fruit.
Sure.
And he has been a critic. And listen, if you're a critic of the Jags over the last decade, you've probably been more right than wrong. So,
well, I'll tell you what then. Monday, we're going to come in here. We're going to see all of Lombardi's picks when he was a GM, and we're going to roast those picks. Yeah. So I like it.
But, everybody, again, I love it how the Mike Glennon move, which we'll talk about a little bit, and we won't spend a lot of time on it because to me it's whatever.
People are flustered.
It's amazing. Yeah, you said it. It's everybody gets all bent about a backup QB. This year is about nobody but Gardner Minshew. Mm-hmm. And now the national media has finally admitted that. It's taken 5 months to admit.
Yeah.
The fact that Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell came back was because they told the owner that. Mm-hmm. That's it. And here we are. 5 months later, it's still proving out that way.
Yeah.
The owner wants to see Gardner Minshew play. Dave Caldwell, Doug Marrone want to see Gardner Minshew play. Mm-hmm. They traded away Nick Foles, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, because they want to see Gardner Minshew play. Wait, okay? Everybody believe that now?
Just when I start getting cocky and think, you know what, our show's reaching the masses, our show's doing very well, the national media's got to come out and say, well, it's official now. I guess Gardner Minshew is the starting quarterback as of today. And then you know what? It really humbles me because it's like, you know what? Maybe we do reach a little bit of an audience, but the big wigs, the national guys, they aren't paying attention.
They're not paying attention enough.
Keeps me humble.
So anyway, listen, for a team that has little expectation, my overall thought was you have a chance in the first 6 weeks to win some games. I don't think anything's guaranteed in the NFL. In fact, you'll see when we go through this a little bit, I believe there's always at least one game that you shouldn't win that you do win. Mm-hmm. And there's one game that you should probably win or could really have a good chance to win and you don't win. Mm-hmm. And so I try to factor that into the way I do because that's the way the NFL works. If you want to sit here and base everything off last year, well, you haven't been paying attention to the NFL for the last 20 years because it doesn't happen that way in the NFL. But then at the back end, the Jags, obviously, I mentioned 4 teams, I think it was last week or whatever, that I don't think they can beat. Mm-hmm. And it's at Minnesota, at Green Bay. It was at L.A. because of the way they've played out west, and at Baltimore. Well, they've got them all. In a stretch of 6 weeks. It's going to be very difficult. Yeah. Even if the Jags are playing well and feel good about themselves, those will be difficult games.
Yeah. I mean, when you break down the first quarter of the schedule, you like to start off at home, right? You have to get your bearings underneath you, especially against the Colts you've had success with before. Now, I got a message on Twitter today, and I didn't see what you tweeted, but you said that the Colts were going to lose the point spread to the Jaguars.
They're favored by 7.5 already, according to the Action Network.
What was the quote that you used why they're going to lose? I got to go back to the tweet.
No, I just said they're going to cover. I said 7.5. I'll take that right now.
But did you mention something about the weather?
I did not.
About the heat?
Somebody else jumped in on that.
Oh, you didn't say something about the Heat?
I
Okay.
didn't, no.
Okay, someone said you mentioned the Heat could be a factor, and we got an argument about that yesterday.
Yeah,
about
I don't believe the Heat.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the Jaguars being at home to start the season off against a division opponent that they've had success with before.
Maybe I did mention the Heat. I have to go back in that tweet.
Well, then I guess the 690 Syndicate's letting me down, man. They're creating false rumors against you now.
Maybe I'll have to go check it out.
Yeah.
But you know me, I don't believe Heat is like makes you win a game.
Yeah.
But it could keep you close.
No, for sure. It could help, man.
Again, everybody misinterpreted that. What they said is, they said, hey, I thought you have Indianapolis going to the Super Bowl because I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. And now you have the Jags beating them. Well, first of all, you can lose a game and go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And secondly, that whole tweet was about covering a 7.5-point spread.
So someone just said to talk to your boy Brent. He's talking about the Heat when he tried to argue with it yesterday or something like that. So I don't know, man. Whatever. But yeah, whatever.
But no, I don't believe because it's hot in September, the Jags have a distinct advantage that will make them win games. That hasn't proven out. In fact, I will share with you today some of the slow starts the Jacksonville Jaguars have been off to in their history. Mm-hmm. And that's been a problem. And it might be more important this year to start fast than ever before. Well, it's always important, right? Every coach says that. Every coach you've ever played for says that. Yeah. But for this team, seriously, it could get nasty and ugly if they don't. And all the tanking people in the Lombardis of the world, and then they could be right on the money if they don't do something early in the season. I mean, this could be season over by mid-October, which is even early for the Jags if they don't get it done early on. All right, let's go through the schedule and we come back. But I also want to do this. Tampa, New England, the other AFC South teams as well. How do you feel about them? And I'll tell you this, a little teaser for my wins and losses. This isn't saying much, but this might be the least amount of wins I've had the Jags at in a long time to start the season. Maybe ever.
Sunshine and rainbows need some gas.
I think most people would still view it as sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, I can't wait then.
It's coming up on ESPN 6. Hey, jump in. What do you think? We have a vote out there. What do you think the Jags will fall? Do you like this schedule? What game do you want to go to? Anything bother you about the schedule? And how do you think the Jags are going to do? Just jump in or share it on social media. 904-362-9901 *690. Talk a little bit about the schedule. Get a little UFC, and we've got some more football topics as well on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny and pleasantly warm as we get into the afternoon hours. We reach the low 80s today. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Say thank you to your quarantine queen this Mother's Day with a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds.
Hello?
Hey, boss.
Why are you calling me?
Well, I was gonna come over, but I thought I should be practicing social distancing.
Oh, that's responsible of you.
Thanks. So I'm calling because I want to read you this new article in the Crooks of Us newsletter.
If it's about Safe Touch security, I don't want to hear it.
Boss, you want to hear this. The headline reads, Safer at Home with Safe Touch Security.
Safer at home with Safe Touch?
Yeah. It says, with people staying home more than ever these days, Safe Touch Security is the answer for peace of mind at home.
Yeah. The guaranteed response time, the two-way communicator, the video monitoring.
Yeah, and more.
Great. So what you're telling me is, whether they're home or not, the Crooks of Us motto is stronger than ever. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
It's written in stone, boss.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
The economic difficulties caused by the current pandemic is affecting the survival of local small businesses. Many have had to close or greatly reduce operations. How well prepared are you to gear back up once conditions begin to improve? Will there be enough working capital to do so? Take advantage of this time to participate in a SCORE webinar or meet virtually with a counselor to get some ideas on developing a business recovery strategy. Register for a webinar or schedule a confidential mentoring session at jacksonville.score.org.
Where is this water coming coming from?
Who will deliver us lunch?
Why is the air conditioner blowing hot air?
Where can I get a tire fixed?
Do you know someone who can get marker stains out of the carpet?
What do we need to do to get the pool ready?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim, Client Relations Manager here at Reliant. Reliant has always been focused on the customer experience. Reliant has been a leader in the industry when it comes to using technology to connect with our clients whenever needed. So while everything around us continues to change and other contractors are scrambling to adapt to the new normal, Reliant remains steadfast, ready to serve our clients. Our client coordinators are available to discuss your roofing, solar, and hurricane shutter projects, so give us a call today.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence, or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit guaranteed, or your visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 904-206-8105. We guarantee that you'll see results on your first visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
We've had our new AC unit from Bold City Heating and Air for over a year now, and the entire experience has been great. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You can trust Bold City Heating and Air just like my family has. Right now, Bold City Heating and Air is offering easy financing for repairs or new air conditioning units, and a $500 cash rebate for new air conditioning installations. Get 0% financing for 12 months or 9.9% for up to 96 months. Don't put off that new AC unit or repairs. Get it done now before the season really heats up. The Bold City team is focused on your safety and takes maximum precautions to sanitize and create a safe work zone during these times and all the time. For a free no-obligation consultation and price quote, visit boldcityac.com. Your AC unit is an important investment for you and your family. Do what my family did. You can trust Bold City Heating and Air.
Out of sight, out of mind still holds true. When things disappear from your day-to-day life, you think about them less and less. This includes your business. Yes, things are difficult, but if your customers aren't thinking about you now, how can you be sure they will be when this is past? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we make sure they will. We'll help you stay on the mind of your customers and even get into the mind of some new customers. Contact CMG Jacksonville at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Headlight Doctor, Sweet Dreams Bedrooms Direct, Jesse House and Carpet Cleaning, Discount Travel. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
What occasion have you missed because of the COVID crisis? A birthday, anniversary, a proposal? Now you can make it better. Beards Diamonds announces our most exciting financing offer ever.
Get 5 years zero-interest financing on anything and everything. How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month. Or a pair of diamond studs for $3,000? You pay just $50 a month.
Beards Diamonds, locally owned at the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home or just steering clear of coworkers, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home to play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
You look at it and you look at, what adjustments you may need to make in the schedule. I think the first thing you look at is, where's the bye week? I look at that first, and then I look at, the opponents in the beginning of the year, so this way, because that's gonna be put in your prep time from now till, when the season comes, working on those opponents. More importantly, I try to look at the other team schedules that we're playing to see what they're doing the week before.
I don't think coaches care about the schedule. And Doug Marrone sounded like he doesn't care about the schedule.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons the Jaguars' schedule is as favorable as it's been in such a long time. Think about it. From a coaching standpoint, the Jags have every game at 1 o'clock except for a West Coast game at 4, which is really 1 o'clock at their time, West Coast, and an 8 o'clock game at night. They have one game. Everything else is 1 o'clock. Well, what are you guys? Creatures of habit.
Correct.
Coaches love it.
Yeah.
Don't have to mess with it. One of the hard things, I've heard this before, and this shows you the talent. Teams like New England and Kansas City and Seattle over the years, and those teams that get all these primetime games, well, you're playing on Sunday and Sunday afternoon, then Sunday night, then Monday, then Thursday, sometimes on the Saturday games. I mean, you're all over the place. Doesn't New England this year have like 2 games in 5 days out west? Now, they might have asked for that so they could kind of stay out, but still, 2 games out west in 5 days against the Rams and the Chargers. Tough deal. So I think that's a challenge. Well, why does it help the Jags even more? No London.
Yep.
No London games. They don't have to play in London. They play one on the West Coast. In fact, I think they play one west of like Houston or Indy, whatever one is. No, Chicago, I guess. No, Chicago's here. Green Bay. Would that be the most west outside of the Chargers? Help me out geographically.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong person. Or Cincinnati.
Nah, Cincinnati wouldn't be.
Okay.
I think Green Bay. Green Bay, but you get my point, right? Basically, you cut the country in half.
That's rough. Yeah.
And the Jags stay mostly on this side of the country.
Sure.
They don't go across the pond.
Yeah.
They've got one game out west. And so
Minnesota actually too, by the way.
Minnesota would be up that way. But you get my point.
Yeah.
And all that with a young football team. So if I have a young football team, I don't want to be bouncing all over. I'd like to make things normal, simple, especially on this shortened time. So I'm just talking from a coach. Do I think a lot of that is like, okay, does that make you win or lose? Well, a lot of these teams have been able to handle it that have been in prime time because why? They're good. That makes you win or lose.
Yeah, listen, do you think the players in the locker room care they have 15 games that are at 1 o'clock? Like some guys are making a big deal about it. Like not the players, but I'm saying like Trey Wingo said, oh, I can't believe they got 15 games 1 o'clock. Well, we play on the East Coast, sir, and we're going really out west one time. So what else do you want?
I think that has become such a made-up thing.
Yeah.
Because of the way the NFL has worked. Prime time. Now the game of the week at 4:25 on Fox. Now some of the 9:30 games in London. Everything's become a thing. And so if you're not part of the thing, you know where you're stuck? 1 o'clock on a Sunday.
Sure.
Well,
good,
so
man.
what? It's 1 o'clock on a Sunday.
I'd rather get out of the way.
It's a little bit of what I was saying, like about if I'm a player and all those.
Oh, careful now, Brent.
I understand what you said about the prime time. I get why they like it.
Yep.
But I also like my routine. And if you've ever played sports or anything, I don't care what level, you like a routine. And if you're superstitious at all, that routine really comes into play. Well, for this football team, whether it's a little bit, they could use any edge they can get. Any edge. And I'm not saying it's an edge over the rest of the AFC South or anything, but for them, that might be a little bit of an edge. And I think for Doug Marrone, that's at least it simplifies things a little bit. For their travel folks, simplifies things a little bit. That's something Doug Marrone is not going to have to worry about very much. So I think that's a positive for the Jags. All right, I lied. I did use the Heat as an excuse on the 7.5. I don't even know what I'm tweeting now. I might be drunk when I'm tweeting.
Do we need a drug test here? Are we back to those days now?
Yeah, so I'm a liar.
Yeah. So you use the Heat as an advantage for the Jaguars to cover that 7.5 spread. Or else you would have tweeted it. Be honest.
Yeah, I kind of did.
Oh, man.
And I just put my house on it, so now I'm losing it because of the Heat. I don't even believe in the Heat.
Unreal. Well, I'm going to say. Yeah, that's fine. I could take over from here. But no, I truly believe, listen, Indianapolis, they're sheltered, okay? They play indoors, okay?
I
they
think
play
that's what I thought about, the indoor part of it, more so than
well, maybe
the 98 degrees.
I mean, keep in mind, though, that they're in the good old Midwest, right? Like, when I went to Kansas City, I'll never forget it, man. My first week in Kansas City for training camp, it might have been like, realistically, probably 82 degrees. And I was in heaven. I'm coming from Jacksonville, training camps 2 days where it's 100 degrees, man. Like, do I cut my dreads? Like, do I have to go to that kind of level because it's that hot? I mean, I have blisters on my feet because my socks are so sweaty. I go to Kansas City, no humidity, a nice, crisp, cool 82 degrees, and I got guys next to me, oh, man, it's hot out here. I'm like, excuse me? You're going to say it's hot on 82 degrees? Have fun in Jacksonville. Because that was the year they're playing in Jacksonville. I go, well, then have fun in Jacksonville week 1 because there is a difference. So with that being said, you cannot simulate the humidity September 13th if you're in Indianapolis, okay? Yeah, you can go ahead and wear extra layers and sweat out a little more, but it does take a toll on your body. Now, 9 times out of 10, the better team will always win. But I'm just saying, if it's a close competitive game, you're going to the fourth quarter, that can give you a competitive advantage.
We'll find out.
Sure.
It at least will give you a competitive advantage to cover a 7.5-point spread.
Exactly. There you go.
Brett Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos here on a Friday. Schedule came out last night to nobody's surprise. It's a decent schedule for the Jags. I really do. I don't think there's a lot to complain about other than lack of primetime games. We don't even have to play Tennessee, which is beautiful. So here we go. Let's get into it. Sure. How do you think the Jags are going to start?
So
let's do this. Give me your first month.
First month? Okay. So first month, you know what? I got the Jaguars.
Should I write this down?
Yeah, because I didn't write it down. I didn't do any homework. No, I didn't do any homework. I didn't spend any time on this. I'm literally going to look at the teams and say, I think someone's going to win, and it is what it is.
Well, quite frankly, that's about the homework we all do.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe this might be written down.
Well, and here's the thing. So you texted me this afternoon, like, hey, can you break down the AFC South, the schedules, how they think they're going to finish? I thought you were kidding. Like, I didn't know you were serious. And then I said, guys, do it on the show. And you said, okay. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I don't know if Kuz wants to write these down or whatever.
I'll write them down.
Okay. So do you want to go back and forth then?
No, you take the first month and then I'll go.
Okay. So September 13th, the Colts come to Jacksonville. Go ahead and give me a win for the Jaguars.
Woohoo! That heat, baby.
Yeah. Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep. Jaguars at Titans, September 20th. That's going to be a loss.
Okay. I've got it.
Okay. Dolphins at Jaguars, September 24th. That is going to be, and keep in mind, I don't know what I'm really essentially talking about here, but I got a feeling that's going to be a loss for the Jaguars.
Interesting.
October 4th at the Bengals is going to be a win for the Jaguars. There you go.
So at this point, they're 2-2?
2-2.
Okay. Would there be calls for Minshew to be replaced at that point?
2-2.
2-2.
I don't know. I'm honestly curious.
Man.
With a loss to the Dolphins, though, wouldn't be good.
2-2, they'd start hanging his number in the rafters.
Finger off the trigger for a second, man.
But a loss to the Dolphins, I could see there being a lot of reaction to that.
Well, there would be because of the prime. I understand what
Right.
you're saying, especially if it's Tua. See, I don't think Tua's playing the first early on.
Neither do I.
I really don't, which I think could hurt the Jaguars in that sense. Not to say I'm scared of Fitzpatrick. We did that the other day, but the guy knows how to win. He's been around enough. And, I mean, you're talking about a coin flip type of game, roster-wise. Dolphins did a bunch to improve their roster. Don't sleep on that. They weren't very good last year, but they actually probably exceeded expectations. Remember, they were tanking, and they won 5 games. And they might be even better now. I want to share this with you, okay? The Jags have been traditionally slow starters. Well, why is that? And I'm talking more recently, say last 10 or 15 years. Well, because they haven't been very good. So take any month, and they really haven't been any good. Now, there's an exception to that. Doug Marrone has done a nice job. 2-2 in his first year. That was the year they really went on a roll later in the season.
Yeah.
3-1 the first. Remember, beating the Patriots and the Jets here at home.
Oh, yeah. I was getting my Super Bowl tickets already.
And then it went downhill.
Yeah, it was bad.
And 2-2 last year. Jags opened up 2-2 last year.
So I'm feeling pretty good.
But before that, let me tell you the 6 years prior. 1-3, 1-3, 0-4, 0-4, 1-3, 1-3. And then that's a lot of 2-2s in there. They've been 3-1 5 different times in franchise history. They've been 4-0 one time in franchise history, and I'm assuming you would think that was 99, but it was actually 1998 when they were 4-0. So they've only been 0-4, as bad as the Jags have been at times, 4 different times in franchise history. So I think Marrone actually carries some weight early in the season.
Sure.
The first quarter of the season, which teams like to do. So that being said, I have it like this. Because of the heat, I've got them beating Indianapolis in the opener.
Seriously?
No, not because of the heat.
Okay.
No, I
But
do
you
have them beating Indianapolis.
Why then?
Well, because I did, by the way, when I did
Time out. Don't you have the Colts going to the Super Bowl?
Here we go. I knew this. You're the same guy that said that earlier. Why do you have to win the first game of the year to go to the Super Bowl? Is there a new rule on that?
I mean, it helps.
It does?
It shows that you had a pretty good team. If you come out and lose the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're going to rebound right away and go to the Super Bowl?
You have 4 months to rebound.
Okay.
And by the way, this year they might have 5.
Well, and I get it. The Patriots did it a couple years ago, obviously.
Teams, you can lose the first game. The first game of the year is the biggest crapshoot game of the year.
Yeah.
I'll get back to why I picked the Indianapolis game in a little bit. It has nothing to do. Well, has a little to do with the Heat. The Heat has to cover the spread.
I mean, we're all about the Heat right now, and I don't appreciate getting an argument with you yesterday about it, but here we are. It's cool.
I have a formula.
What's that?
That I like to abide by.
Okay, I'm just going to say, last year when the Ravens beat the Dolphins 59-10, week 1, you know what I knew? I knew the Ravens were probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you thought also that the Dolphins were absolutely horrific.
Sure.
Because they lost the next game as well, like crazy big, didn't
they lost a lot of games crazy. Yeah, but I'm just saying.
You're right. Lamar looked pretty darn good.
It was a good first impression.
Yeah.
Okay, so Colts getting beat.
Well, I don't think, by the way, the Colts are that kind of team to go 14-2.
Okay.
I don't. You can be a Super Bowl team and not be 15-1, 14-2, 13-3. I mean, you win your division, you get in the playoffs, you get a home game. You know, you might be a 11-5 team, and you can still go to the Super Bowl. I just don't see how that correlates. I was asked that question even about covering the 7.5, and I was like, well, why does that correlate? I mean, it's the first game of the year. It's a lot like the last game of the year. I think are crapshoot games where you just don't know. Miami, New England last year. New England had all the stuff riding on it. Miami had nothing riding on it. In fact, probably better if they lose, in theory, and they win. Well, I think the first game of the year is a little bit like that. And I also, as you see my schedule, I'm a firm believer, I said this earlier, that you win one game that you shouldn't win, and you lose one game that you shouldn't lose.
Sure.
Well, I want you to hear me out on my first 4.
Okay, let me just say, though, Kuz, record this. If it's going to be like world record temperatures of going to be like a cold front coming in September 13th, and it's going to be like 70 degrees, I don't want you to come in here and change your answer to be like, you know what? Now that I think about it some more, I think the Colts going to win this game. Okay?
Yeah.
Don't put the heat on it, Brent, because you said the heat doesn't matter. So
I'm not going with the Heat.
Okay.
But I was surprised that other people didn't go with the Heat and had them 7.5-point favorites.
True. Oh, yeah. I'm taking a look
at a little bit more of my point.
I'm taking a look at my Vegas app right now.
So I've got
make some bets. Yep.
I got to win. I got a loss at Tennessee because I don't know how anybody in their right mind can have them beaten Tennessee at Tennessee. It's just the way it's been. Not even I can do that. I've got them winning on Thursday Night Football against the Dolphins. I think that's a team that they really can beat. You know who else I think they really can beat? And I've been a little surprised that people projecting that they would lose and they're like underdogs by Vegas and the roster and all this is Cincinnati. But I actually think that's a game that a lot of people will go into and say, hey, I think the Jags can go up there and win. They won last year. They actually should have dominated that game. Remember that opening drive and then they couldn't get in the end zone? I think they run away with that game if they end up scoring. And now you got a rookie quarterback. Well, so in the first month of the year, I have a game where I think most people would say the Jags are going to lose, that they win. And they have a game that a lot of people will say they could win or should win, and they lose.
See,
I think they lose to Cincinnati.
I did the exact same thing except with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Because I think I paid for the Jaguars matchup well, the Dolphins. But for whatever reason, I have Ryan Fitzpatrick coming in here and just tearing them apart.
Hey, I think it's important to note, too, when you're saying this stuff. I mean, the Jags are in a position roster-wise where they can lose to anybody. There's nothing that's going to be easy for the Jags. No way. No way. Hasn't been, and it won't be. And that being said, that's why I have identified 4 games where I think I have a very hard time even seeing them sniffing a win. the Baltimores, at Green Bays, the at Minnesotas, the at the Chargers. I just think the talent gap is too much for me to actually see them winning. Now, it's the NFL, but I tried to get a game like that, and the best I could do was the Indy game.
Sure.
The one that I was like, okay, they're probably not as good on paper. I think Indy's going to be good. I think Indy's the team that beat in the division. But it's a divisional game, and the Jags have performed well against Indy in the past, much like Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh, you'll say, hey, they're way better on paper probably, especially with Ben Roethlisberger. But Jags have performed well against Pittsburgh. We'll see how we pick that one in a little bit. All right, so go second month. We both have them 2-2, by the way.
Have them losing the Texans. Lions come to Jacksonville. I have the Lions beating the Jaguars.
All right, so 2-4 at the bye. That's a danger zone for the Jags. That doesn't make you feel good.
Does not make you feel good at all. I have them actually going to San Diego and winning.
Wow. Okay.
And then I have them losing to Texans in Jacksonville.
So you're afraid of Houston a little bit, I see.
I mean, if I'm the Jaguars, I'll be honest, I'm afraid of a lot of people right now. I mean, Houston, it's Deshaun Watson, man.
All right, I got them losing to Houston because it's on the road.
Yep.
And then I've got them beating Detroit at home.
Sure.
So I actually have the Jags 3-3 at the bye. Believe me, that would be I think, a huge win for the Jags.
That's a little sunshine and rainbows.
It's doable.
Yeah.
I think Ultra Sunshine and Rainbows would have had 4-2.
Sure.
Because you could say, okay, steal one of those first two games, and then I think you can beat Detroit. I think you can beat Cincinnati. I think you can beat Miami. Well, like I said, I just don't think it goes that way. It just doesn't. I've got them losing at LA. They can't win out west, and Chargers are just better. Whether Herbert plays or not, they're just better in a lot of ways. I've got them beating Houston at home.
Okay.
And so there I have them 4-4 after 8.
Batting 500 right now. What do I have?
You have them 3-5.
3-5.
It's not that different.
Nah. Let's see how this next end goes, though. All right, so now we're going to Green Bay, right?
Yep.
All right. Got them losing at Green Bay. Got them beating the Steelers at home.
Okay.
Ooh, this one. Browns at Jacksonville.
Tough one, man.
I got to go with the Browns. And I don't like saying that out loud. I have them losing to Minnesota. That stupid clap is going to echo out the Duvals. By the way, they stole that. And John Bachman, I know you're listening. They stole that, all right? They stole it from Iceland in the World Cup game. Come up with something original. And that stupid horn that goes off, no one's liking that either. And then Titans at Jacksonville. I got the Titans winning. Hey, that's a bad stretch right there, folks.
It's a tough stretch.
Yeah.
It really is. So that's the next month started with Green Bay. I've got them losing at Green Bay. I have them beating Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
What I wrestled with here, and I have them losing against Cleveland, I was like, I actually saved those two games to last. I went back, and I was like, I feel like they're going to win one of these two. I don't think they're going to lose both, and I just think the trend says they better play in Pittsburgh. Listen, people don't want to say it, but Cleveland has a chance to be, like, really good.
Sure.
Now, what you could argue by the time they get there, Cleveland has a chance to be very dysfunctional, too, if they don't live up to it early. And that's where I was going with it. But I'm saying, you know what? I like the trends. The Jaguars have a good record against AFC North teams. They have a winning record against all of them, winning record against Pittsburgh. And I think we're in Pittsburgh's head a little bit here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
So I think I take that one. The loss, Cleveland. The loss, you already went down to Tennessee. But
I'm sorry, yeah.
I've got them losing to Minnesota.
Okay.
So you have them losing to Tennessee at home.
Yep.
Baltimore, L.
Yeah.
Chicago.
I haven't beaten the Bears.
There you go.
Yep.
Foles.
Yep.
And Indy, L.
No.
Oh, you win. At Indy.
Haven't beaten the Colts.
How about that?
Haven't beaten the Colts
Not
twice
because of
this
the
year.
heat.
Not because of the heat. Yeah, I've been winning the last game. Do you know why? Because I don't see the Colts going to the playoffs, and they're not going to play for anything.
Do you think Colts will be disappointing?
A little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, listen, it's pure speculation right now. Philip Rivers wasn't good last year.
Yep, absolutely.
And
it all hinges on Philip Rivers.
Exactly.
If he sucks like he did last year, well, then they're in trouble.
Well, that, and I just like the storylines of the fact that Philip Rivers has always had the Jaguars number, and this is the year the Jaguars finally get him back twice. So that's kind of what I'm going with, too.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm rooting for it.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't mind being wrong there about the Colts if they stink. That's fine.
Yeah, but to go to the Super Bowl, I mean, you're not bummed about it.
Yeah, I mean,
you kind of look like a genius.
I'd rather the Jags do well than me be right. How about that?
I like your style, man.
I've got them beating Tennessee at home.
Yeah.
Losing to Baltimore. Couldn't do it. There's no way. It might be snowing in Baltimore. That actually sneaky is a hard weather game for the Jags. People look at Green Bay like mid-November. Well, it could be freezing, could be blizzard, could be this. Look at December 20th and look at the weather in Baltimore, and my guess is you could get a little bit of everything.
What's the over-under of sacks for Calais Campbell that game?
I don't know. I feel like
going 3.
I feel like when you're playing Baltimore, it'll be one of those games that can be very boring on offense for the Jags. Like they kind of just get out of there, and it's like, you know how you're hand off and you're like 3 and out a lot, and you're punting away.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. You got Calais Campbell and former defensive line coach Joe Cullen, who holds grudges, who hasn't forgotten that he got let go in Jacksonville. Could be a big day for Calais Campbell.
And I love you, Calais, but I'm a little bit more concerned about how many touchdowns will Lamar Jackson score than I am Calais sacks.
That's a good point. Yeah.
In Indy, I have. By the way, Chicago. I've got to win too.
Yeah, right. No one's buying the Bears this year.
I've got a loss for Indy on the road because it's cold.
How many wins do I got for?
So you have 3, 4, 5, 6. You rally late.
6 and 10.
You rally with 2 wins.
Oh, you know what's going to happen here too? They're going to go 6 and 10. They're going to rally late. And what are we talking about?
We're losing draft picks. Two useless wins.
Well, yeah, but then do they end up retaining Dave Caldwell and Doug Marrone? That's what I can see happening, where it's going to be like, well, you know what? At the end, they kind of rallied a little bit. Do you keep that momentum going for next season?
I got 7 and 9.
Woo! Hey, you want to say a little optimistic. Man.
Dude, you know how hard that is for me to get the Jags down to 7 wins?
Below 500? It kills you, doesn't it?
That's tough.
It kills you.
That's hard.
Yeah.
It's a really tough stretch. Here's what I do a little bit. I have them split with the AFC South teams. It's probably unlikely that happens, but I also don't see any of the AFC. I mean, again, Indianapolis, if Phillip Rivers plays well, then you could be in trouble
let's
there.
Let's be honest. They're the ultimate boomer bust. I mean, maybe in the entire NFL.
In the entire NFL. That's
they're
why
the
I picked
ultimate
them
boomer
in
bust.
that Super Bowl thing.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, I think it could take a little bit for them to get going. It was really less about the heat and more about, hey, get going a little bit. I mean, will they have the camp they need? Are they trying? That's the time you catch teams.
Yeah.
Right? There are two other things that favor the Jags, I thought, in the schedule. You can catch some of those teams, whether it's the rookies or a team like Phillip Rivers adapting to a new team. And then on the other side of it, and this is why it won't necessarily go, even though that looks like a murderer's row, the Jags are not going to lose all those games in the second half of the year, even though you could make the case they might. They'll be the underdog heavy in a lot of those. But who's hurt by then? Is Aaron Rodgers still playing? You know, has Lamar Jackson dinged himself up? Is Houston and Deshaun Watson, has he stayed healthy? You know, I mean, those are fair questions because by the time you get to the second half of the year, teams are different, right? I mean, I'm looking at some of the projections from last year and what happened. I mean, Baltimore was picked to win less than 8 games last year. They won 14.
Yeah.
You know, the team like
Tennessee wasn't picked. I think they picked finished third
7 or something. Yeah, they weren't that far off. You know what's interesting is I thought Pittsburgh would be on a bigger slide.
Yeah.
Well, they were picked to win about 9 games.
Sure.
And Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt. They go to like 3 quarterbacks at one time, right?
Yeah.
And they won 8.
I think they had the Bears like winning 11 or something like that. Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm still working on that a little bit to see. Like, you can take all these projections as you want. Yeah. But how far off are they?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, but you know what's crazy to me that you just said, because you said Phillip Rivers on a new team that could cost them earlier. I mean, I completely agree. New jerseys, new teammates. You don't really have Austin Eckler, Melvin Gordon. You have Marlon Mack. You got Jonathan Taylor. So you could get a Wisconsin boy back there. You might be all right if you're Phillip Rivers. But the receiving core is going to be different, okay? And the scheme's going to be a little bit different. So I agree with you here. But here's the fact, Brent. You said that Phillip Rivers could struggle week 1 against the Jacksonville Jaguars because of being on a new team. But you tweeted out the heat, though. You know,
I did tweet out the heat.
But you didn't say that in your tweet, though. You tweeted out the heat.
I tweeted out the heat for putting my house on 7.5
tweeted
points.
Out the heat.
It could be like a both. You know, a new team. It's warm.
It's a
He's
lot.
flustered.
He's stressed. He's old. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a coaching gig
Can I
lined up.
delete
Did
that
you see
tweet?
that?
Yeah. What's up with that?
What?
Does that make you nervous if you're a Colts fan?
Well, I think it was a place in Alabama. It sounded like a Catholic school or a private school in Alabama. It basically said he's got a head coaching gig waiting for him whenever he retires.
Oh, high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't bother me.
Well, it doesn't bother me. It's just kind of odd, right? He's coaching waiting.
Yeah, I mean,
at a high school.
For sure. I mean, listen, it's good to have job security.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Well, I
But
just
if
wonder
you're halfway through the season,
I didn't read too much up on it, but I wonder who the coach is now and be like, Might have this job for a year or 4.
Yeah.
I don't know, honey. Should we buy the house or not?
I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with a little job security. Because it'll probably happen eventually. When I get fired from this show, I hope I have a high school job waiting for me to come coax me in to do something else.
The great thing about Phillip Rivers coaching a team is he's got enough kids to actually field a team and a cheerleading squad.
For sure, man. Absolutely.
All right. How is that about? Is that a ceiling for the Jags? 7 games?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could stretch to 8 if you really wanted to. Could you find another W in there? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot. Mm-hmm. Again, you're really going to have to be like, all right, do you think they could squeak something out against Minnesota? Do they sweep a team like Houston? Yeah. Because you'll see. I think Houston might have a chance to struggle this year, you know, and maybe even more to the depths. That's what happens sometimes, right? Teams, I mean, the Jags, they were 3-1, man, in 18, and I don't care what you say about the team. Nobody expect them to lose 9 in a row.
Correct.
But sometimes that happens. You just get on these slides, and you can't stop them. Kind of wonder if Houston, you'll see my projections on Houston a little bit later, and you almost wonder, will Bill O'Brien make it through the season? The way things have trended, is that kind of like lining up for that to happen? Will Deshaun Watson be great this year without DeAndre Hopkins? What if the injuries? Those are the things you take if you really want to try to predict and get them right. I think those are some of the things you take into consideration.
Let me ask you this here. Okay, so you got them going 7-9, and I think that's a pretty generous assessment, right?
Absolutely. I think I'd be on the high side.
Well, but I think if the Jaguars go 7-9, you know what?
Some people are wondering about.
I think
high side.
I think the community will actually be pretty intrigued because you know what that means? That means Gardner Minshew probably had a pretty good year then, right? Let me ask you this: 6-10, like I got him going. Is that enough to kind of shy away from the first round quarterback in 2021 from a win total? Now we don't know how Gardner Minshew played that season, but I'm just saying if you win 6 games, is that enough for you going forward? And we'll keep in mind we don't know the stats, and that's important too.
Yeah. I'm going to take the easy way out here. I just don't know if I can say unequivocally. It's like what I said the other day. You could win 5 or 6 games, and Gardner could throw 30 touchdowns and 12 picks.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but you don't know if this defense is going to be alarmingly bad. Some of those picks costly. They don't finish games off. Maybe he leads them down, but they give up a score late a couple of times. I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I think they start the year with 4 losses. Think about it this way. If they start the year with 4 losses, but the games I said that I think are really hard to see them winning, just because they're just not there yet roster-wise, that's reality. And that's also a far away from saying they're tanking because of their roster. Well, that leaves 12 football games. So that means, they got to go 7-5 in those games. You have them going, if you take the same thing, because you do have those losses down, they got to go 6-6 in those games. How does he play in those wins? Did he engineer some of those comebacks? I mean, he had 3 comeback wins. How's he playing against some of his peers? Or is he the one costing you things? Hasn't fixed the fumble problems, making bad decisions, hesitant to throw over the middle, those kind of things. I just think it's really hard to paint it that way. I think it's easier to say, I think this is hard too, but I think it's easier to say, are Doug and Dave back than it is the Minshew thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's also going to be like if they were 6-10, where you say, well, they're picking maybe 8 or 9 or 10 again.
Sure.
That's where they were this year. If they have 7 wins, like I said, shoot, they might be picking 14th. Well, that becomes a heck of a lot harder to go get your guy. So you might be riding it a little bit longer with Minshew, but still taking a quarterback at some point and saying, all right, we're really bringing it in competition. I think it's a really hard thing to answer. And I'm not trying to duck it. I just think it's a really hard thing to answer. But that's why we asked earlier this week, wins or stats?
Yeah.
And I think stats win the day.
Stats do win the day.
Because, again, if I tell you right now that he's got 30 touchdowns and 12 picks, you're not asking me how many games did he win. You're saying, hey, that's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sign me up for that right now, Brent.
Yep.
I'm going to sign you up for 3,800 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 12 picks, and I'll let the chips fall where they may.
And it's like we talked about, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, that's why Matthew Stafford still has a job.
It really is.
Because
nobody cares about wins there.
No, because, the guy puts up some pretty good numbers. Okay, he's a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah, they feel
doesn't have the wins to back it up.
They're losing not because of him.
Correct. Yep. He's not the liability there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you could make the case if they're 6-10, They're losing not because of Gardner.
Mm-hmm.
Where around here in Jacksonville for a long time, even when the Jags were winning, it was they're winning in spite of Blake.
Yeah.
Or winning in spite of Gabbert. Or winning in spite of Garrard. Or that's kind of been the mantra around here. Whether it was true or not, that's been the mantra.
This is why I'm so prevalent on this 3-4 defense going forward now, because they have to have Gardner Minshew's back. Right? Yes. Jackson is a great quarterback for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, MVP, okay? But guess what? He also has a defense that always has his back. He's always getting the ball back, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Go do your thing, Jackson. Go do your thing. With Gardner Minshew, man, I want to see a defense that actually has the quarterback's back, because once again, we talk about this is the ultimate addition. Let's give him the ultimate tools to succeed, and let's see what he's got. Well, you also need a good defense to have his back to get the opposing offense off the field so Minshew can go down there and score.
All right, what else does what do the other teams look like in the AFC South? That's what I was trying to say. I swear this guy's your cousin, by the way, on social media. He's just killing me this week.
What do you say?
I'll share it later. We'll talk more about the schedule and the other teams. Who are you scared of in the AFC South? You're not afraid of the Colts. Is it Tennessee in the AFC South? Because that's where everything begins for the Jags. It's all about the AFC South. It's next on ESPN 690.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin, land of action sports, Jax on ESPN 690. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe to our podcast because I'm not that type of person. I'm not that desperate. But no, seriously, subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
These days, the whole world is on the internet 24/7, on their phones, at work, even at the dinner table. It's the internet all the time. So why, when it's time to sell your home, does your traditional agent charge you 6% to list it on the MLS to other agents instead of targeting buyers directly online? That's why Rex was born. For a fee starting at 2%, Rex sells your home where buyers are looking, online, optimized by data-driven marketing, not the MLS. To get started, visit sellwithrex.com. That's sellwithrex.com. With Rex, selling or buying a home has never been easier. Price your home, get a virtual consultation, visit online open houses and showings, all from the comfort of your home with a few clicks of a button. Want to learn more? Visit sellwithrex.com or just use your phone and call 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. License number CQ 1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Sometimes it's a battle. Oh, those allergies here in the Southeast. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. I know all about the allergies, and it seems like we are always in allergy season around here. Right now, Bold City Heating and Air is offering air conditioning system sanitizing with pricing starting at $125. Sanitizing your air conditioning system will ease up allergens getting into your home through your air conditioning system. And as much time as we are all spending working from home lately, it's time to get your AC system sanitized. Contact Bold City Heating and Air today to get more information on their air conditioning sanitizing special. Just go visit boldcityac.com. If you need a new AC unit, Bold City has 0% financing options and rebates as well. Up to 0% financing for 12 months or 9.9% for up to 96 months. Do what my family did. See my friends at Bold City Heating and Air to make things more comfortable in your home. Just go visit boldcityac.com.
Chronic or acute pain doesn't just disappear during a crisis, and neither does Cora Physical Therapy. Throughout this time, Cora remains dedicated to your health and safety. With 15 Jacksonville area clinics, Cora Physical Therapy provides quality care wherever you're most comfortable. In clinic, where we disinfect after every touch. Telehealth gives you remote access to licensed therapists, or Cora therapists will even come to you. We are grateful for our patients' trust and our clinicians' bravery. What matters most is your health, so Cora provides care anywhere you prefer it. Learn more at coraphysicaltherapy.com.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work?
Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Oceanside Cleaners, Bowers & Associates Elder Law, First Coast IT, American Dock Builders, Crane Contracting, Thompson Select Cabinets. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Pros. Lowe's wants to help you keep working. That's why we're open for pro business hours 6 to 7 a.m. Monday through Saturday. You'll find the quantities you expect with dedicated pro associates and loaders to help you get what you need fast and load you up curbside. Now, more than ever, we know you need to win every single bid. You can count on Lowe's for special values on pro-trusted brands and savings when you buy in bulk. Save yourself a trip by shopping Lowe'sForPros.com, where we can ship thousands of items to your doorstep or to the job site. Lowe's is open and pro-ready.
At AutoZone, we've always been here to help you get what you need to go where you need. That hasn't changed. In need of an oil change? Right now you can get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And if you need something fast, you can get it fast, your way. Whether it's next day delivery or free same day pickup, in store or curbside, the choice is yours. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Restrictions and details on AutoZone.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
So we started today with the rookie kind of virtual minicamp. It started off well. Everyone was there, obviously on time. Obviously it would be a very young team. Everybody was excited. Just I told them that, my three expectations for them are to make sure that they're prepared. I told them to be prepared, be on time. Actually, one was be on time, second was be prepared, and third was make sure that we're communicating. I think that I talked to them about, first impressions and how important they are. It's a little bit we're in this new system here of virtual meetings, and how are you going to be able to make impressions during this time of year?
Yeah, how do you do that? That's Doug Marone talking about this virtual period, the kind of the rookie mini camp over Zoom and Microsoft, however you say it, Cloud or whatever it is. That Teams it is. Yeah, that's. Do we have Microsoft Teams? Do you do stuff on that?
Yeah, we do. I actually like it a lot.
Do you? Yeah. I think I got on one call. It's very similar to Zoom and the rest of them. How will that work, right? How do you make a first impression? Like, what do you do to stand out? These guys are missing that a little bit.
Yeah.
First impressions are important, right? But we all do that. We all kind of sense that. But at the same time, that impression, that first impression, a lot of time comes like in camp on the field, or maybe an OTA on the field.
For sure. I mean, if it was me right now, I'm a rookie or someone who trying to make a good first impression, I would have, I'd go on Amazon. I would buy a bench, and I would buy a barbell, and I would put 225 on, and I would be lifting the entire time during the meeting to show that even when I'm in a meeting with Doug Marrone or somebody else, that I'm all in and I'm working out 24/7.
Well, there you go.
That's what I would do to make a first impression.
That would be good.
Yeah.
We'll get Doug Marrone. Let me get your quick thoughts. Tampa, the joint practices. The Jaguars are going to do that.
Yep.
We've talked about this, I think, off air more than on air about it, but those aren't always the best for players.
I mean, they're good because, it adds toughness.
Breaks up the monotony.
It breeds competition. You're going against somebody new, so, that's great. But it's hard, especially, the first practice, to kind of gauge what exactly the intensity is, right? Because when I played in Jacksonville, we always went against the Atlanta Falcons, whether it was in Atlanta or they would come here. And it was great and everything, but I think it was Mike Smith back then, he ran practices a different way than we did, right? So when you combine them like that, everyone says go 100%. And truth be told, I always went 100%. But, you don't know whether you want to follow through, take someone to the ground. And, obviously, if a guy, pushes you after the whistle, well, then you're going at him full speed. So it's just, there's the give and takes, I guess. It's almost like I equate it to you find a new sparring partner in a gym. Right? If you're a boxer and MMA fighter, the first time you spar with somebody, you don't go all out, right? Because there's a respect factor there.
Yeah. Try to feel it.
Yeah, but then sometimes maybe your opponent goes a little bit too hard that first day, and then you retaliate back, and then it's chaos. So that's what you see sometimes during these training camps, during these joint practices where there's fights and everything, just because there's not a written way how to go about things.
Yeah, I get it. And this is what I've heard. You tell me if this is maybe the narrative in a locker room. Mm-hmm. Young guys, they really like it because they think it's an opportunity to show what they've got against somebody else. It's really that first chance. Say you're a rookie, but even young guys in general, but especially a rookie, guy hasn't played much, can turn heads against, well, in this case, might be Tom Brady. Say you're a corner for the Jags, and they've got a lot of young ones now, and you can make an impression. Pick off Tom Brady in a practice. Old guys, veteran guys, don't like it as much because they think those young guys amp it up so much that that's what creates some of the hostility, animosity, and fighting. Much to the media and the fans love when teams start clashing and fighting. The players and coaches don't. And so that's what I've read, at least through talking to some players over the years, especially those veteran guys. They have mixed emotions about it. They see what you just said, but they also think some of those young bucks, man, well, in this case, maybe the Tampa Bay Bucks, they turn it up a notch, where it's not even supposed to be in a practice, even in training camp.
Well, listen, if you're a young guy, a first, second year guy, and you're still trying to make the team, I mean, because the team that you go against, they have to watch that film too. So if you make a play, you stand out. Now, if you get cut, you have a better chance of getting picked up by a different team, right? So there's a lot of incentive for the guys maybe that are bubbles on the roster, or maybe the first-year guys who are undrafted free agents. There's a lot of incentive to go harder, especially against new guys, new talent, and things like that. So, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you're absolutely right. But at the same time, I don't feel bad. I'm not going to tell young guys, well, hey, don't go that hard. I mean, you have to, man. You're trying to secure a job. You're trying to find a way to feed your family. So by all means, go as hard as you need to. But yeah, there's going to be the vets out there, obviously, the 10-year guys, the seasoned guys. They're going to say, well, just bump it down a little bit. But keep in mind, though, too, those seasoned guys, Brent, there's a lot of pressure on them as well, right? Because when you go against your own offensive line, if you're on the defensive line, there's a rhythm, right? Even when you're doing, team inside run, even when you're doing scrimmage, whatever it is, there's a rhythm, right? You go hard and everything, and then now listen, okay, you're good. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. The main focus is to obviously get to week one healthy, right? Well, when you do the joint practices and you're that seasoned vet and you go against a guard or a center or a tackle, and all of a sudden that tackle goes a little harder. He kind of gives you a little extra nudge right there. Well, you're the leader of the team, man. And someone just punked you. So if you're a captain, what are you going to do? You're just going to be like, all right, yeah, we got punked. I'm the captain. I'm supposed to be the leader of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but some guy pushed me after. And you know what? It's all good as long as we're all healthy. Nah, man. If someone punks you like that, you got to punk them back. Simple as that, because you're essentially the face of that franchise. You're a captain for a reason. So it is a catch-22 where, yes, the vets do have it made because they've been through this before. But if one of them gets punked even a little bit, you have to show up for your team.
Absolutely. We'll get to Steven on the line in just a moment, Kuz. One more thought about this. Marrone obviously loves it. Since he's been here, they've done this. Minnesota, New England.
Coaches should love it.
Yeah. New England, and that was a good one, right? You met him in the AFC Championship game down the road. That was interesting. Minnesota, Tampa before here. Am I missing somebody? That's it. No. Was last year Minnesota?
No, last year was Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's what I wanted to bring up. So Baltimore was interesting.
Yeah. Well, because they didn't show anything, first of all.
That's it. Baltimore's facility is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons, there's two reasons I think he picked Belichick and the Patriots. Physical, fundamental football team. They like that one to be a little physical.
Very well coached.
Minnesota, I think the relationship, of course, with the coach helps. I don't know if it had as much to do with the style of play. Baltimore, I think, did have to do with the style of play. Physical football team. But they also knew the Lamar Jacksons of the world were kind of part of the NFL, that run quarterback, that guy that can give you that element. Well, the hope was, especially with a Deshaun Watson in your division, was to get some looks on that. Well, they spent a couple of days practicing against Baltimore in August last year, never saw it.
Correct.
Didn't do anything because Baltimore and Harbaugh didn't want to reveal anything of what they were doing.
Yep.
And you get that. But the Jaguars basically went there defensively with a hope of being able to at least see a guy show a little wiggle, show a little look here or there.
Didn't see anything.
Nothing.
Just power football.
Absolutely nothing.
Power football.
I don't want to say it was useless, but from that standpoint, it was kind of useless that the Jaguars didn't see anything. So it kind of backfired a bit in that sense. Again, I'm not saying they didn't get anything accomplished.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure they got everything they wanted to get accomplished.
So here's the cool thing, though, about Tampa Bay. Okay, because we say it all the time. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the youngest team in the NFL. Okay, they have a lot of rookies on that team, a lot of second-year guys on their team. And where you make your most progress, obviously, is during a training camp. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I guess, they're going to Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so the Jaguars, they're going to travel in Tampa, and you're essentially going to go against, in practice, a team who, let's be honest, Brent, they're a Super Bowl favorite, I would say, or at least going to the Super Bowl. Yeah. They're obviously a playoff favorite, and they're a very talented team. You have Tom Brady, who comes in one of the best quarterbacks, if not the GOAT, if you will. But this isn't like a Baltimore Ravens situation where it's like, all right, well, we have Jackson on our team, so let's go ahead and just, kind of play coy a little bit. Let's not show our hand until Miami, the first game of the season. These Jaguars coming in here, we're not going to show them anything because we don't have to. Let's just do the power run football, smash mouth, but let's not show them anything. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers is different because you don't have a weapon like Jackson. You have Tom Brady. And you know what Tom Brady is. He's a great quarterback, man. But he's not something where you're going to evolve an offense around. So what you're going to do if you're Bruce Arians is you're going to throw the full arsenal out there. You're going to get Tom Brady his reps because, let's be honest, coming to a new scheme with new teammates, he has to get acclimated, and Brady will go against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, what does that do? What's my point here? Why is it so important? Trey Herndon. You spent a first-round pick on Trey Herndon.
C.J. Henderson.
What am I talking about? Yeah, hello, C.J. Henderson, but Trey Herndon as well. But yeah, the secondary in general.
Yeah, secondary in general. Yeah, it's a good thought.
But C.J. Henderson, thank you. The first-round pick. The guy that you maybe reached out a little bit on, right? And maybe a guy who's not going to get his full reps, obviously, in rookie camp or in OTAs or whatever like that. Well, he's going against Mike Evans. He's going against Godwin, okay? Some of the best wide receivers in the league. Rob Gronkowski, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard.
Jags have a chance to look pretty silly on defense, actually, in that couple of practices.
But here's my point, though, man. O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, Rob Gronkowski, a murderer's row, if you will, of tight ends. Well, what's been the Jaguars' Achilles heel the past couple years? The tight end play. So essentially what you're doing is you're acclimating your young guys to stopping some of these great receivers. You're acclimating your guys on defense where the Achilles heel has always been the tight end. Like, this will only make the Jaguars better. It has to, right? Or else what are you doing it for? And I get it, Brent, and I agree with you. It might look ugly, right? That first practice might be, ooh, you really picked them to win 7 wins? Ugh. Good luck with that, Brent. But at the same time, it's practice, okay? And you can't put everything into what you see at practice, but I'm going to put into it the fact that these players will get better from having practiced with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Couple more quick thoughts. I think what it does potentially is take away right away in this NFL world where you do have rookies. You have the C.J. Hendersons, the Laviska Shenaults.
Yeah.
You can't get any more eyes wide open than seeing Tom Brady on the other side of that field with you.
Yeah.
You know? So at least get that out of the way. Get it out of the way. And it'll be different. Preseason to the regular season is totally different.
Of course.
Everybody says that. But at least you get that part out of the way. You know? The Jags are not going to line up with anyone here that they're like, oh, my gosh, that's Gardner Minshew. I don't think they're going to do that, right?
Yeah.
They will do that in Tampa that day.
Correct.
Like, whoa.
Yep.
That's the GOAT.
Exactly.
And I think it also has a chance to benefit Minshew a little bit by picking up on just small things, maybe have a small conversation with Brady.
Sure.
Here or there, you know, coming out. I believe Bortles did that. I remember coming out of that 17 year in that August when we were up there in Foxborough, and it wasn't like these long conversations. Not like they went to school, you know. Like, it was more just I got to watch
after. Yeah, I got you.
How he operates, how he practices. You're watching the greatest of all time practice.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was good for the entire Jags team. It was good for Bortles at the time. I think it will be good for Minshew at the time to see that. One last thought on the joint practice. I'm a little surprised. I'm surprised in this climate with the COVID-19 and everything so present and all the contingency plans being made and wondering if there is even going to be football and how's it going to be played, that teams would actually even look into this and set it up. Now, I guess it's easy just to cancel.
Correct.
But I was just a little surprised. I didn't anticipate it this year. I thought they might just be like, all right, we're just going to kind of stay at home. We don't know what the situation will be like. But again, it's a phone call to say we're not coming or we're not going to do it this way. I get it. It's easy. It's simple.
Yep.
So I love the idea that the Jags will do that. I like when they do. It gives us a change of pace too.
Yeah.
And this is a quick trip over to Tampa. But I was a little bit surprised that they are doing it or it was announced right now given the situation and the climate that we're living in.
Yeah, I think right now the NFL's kind of on the standpoint, though, Brent, where they're just like, it's business as usual, right? Like, you haven't really seen them go above and beyond and say, you know what, we might make some changes here in a couple months or so. Like, I think right now it's Roger Goodell's goal and it's the NFL executive's goal and the owners and everybody just to act like nothing's happening, okay, and just to kind of like carry on with business. So I think that's where, you know, the joint practices come from.
Yeah, and again, it's fine. I'm not going over the top here. I'm just saying I just was a little surprised that came out. I'm not surprised. Marone wants to do that stuff. I get it. And this one makes sense. It's just right across the state against Tampa. All right, Steven has been hanging around, talk schedule a little bit. We're going to ask the question, who will be the best team in the AFC South this year? Who do you think? That coming up in just a moment. But first, let's get to Steven on a Friday. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. What's happening, man?
Hey, not much. How about you guys?
We're good. Beautiful day.
All right, Austin, I need your help. You're a great preacher. I need you to preach it for me.
Okay.
People are saying nonstop on Twitter, on chats, that the Jaguars are garbage. They have no talent. But you've been out on the field. Teams all over the league have talent on their team. But if they can't play as a unit, they may have all the talent in the world. They're going to play like garbage. Let's say Schobert coming to the defense is the miracle key that we needed. Brings the defense together as a unit to play and be New Sac City.
I like that. Go on.
Could you see them winning and playing better if Gardner, with all his confidence he gained last year and the trust with his players, makes the offense play like a unit? Can't you see them doing better than what you guys projected?
That's a great question, Steven. Thank you for calling in, man. So, yeah, you know, and I kind of mentioned this after we made our picks here and our predictions where this is the ultimate year for Gardner Minshew, and it's the ultimate addition. And if you want to come here after the season and say, you know what, was Gardner Minshew the man or not? I want to say, well, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe he was, maybe he's not. But you know what? At least the defense had his back. You know, because the offense and defense, they coincide with each other. Okay? I'm reminded back in 2011 with Blaine Gabbert. Okay? We had a pretty decent defense that year in 2011. A lot of expectations to do well because we're coming off a season where we went 8-8. So our defense was primed and ready to play. Blaine Gabbert comes in, and it's 3 and out, it's 3 and out, it's 3 and out, until it's just the same story every single game. And you know what? Like, as a defense, yes, you obviously embrace the opportunity to go out there and play the football game. Let's be honest. That's why you play the game in the first place. You want to go out there and showcase your skills. But when it's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and you're tired, man, and, like, the offense can't get anything together, there was some discombobulation in that locker room.
Yeah, I would say.
Okay, because
little WTF.
Exactly, because now on the defense we're like, well, we're doing our job. Can you guys do something for us, please? Can you guys give us a little break? Can you guys go score some points so we can be successful? So with that being said, Stephen, yeah, I absolutely agree. If this defense can come out here and establish a dominance, it's only going to help the offense, be successful. And then, in ipso facto, you win more games. But the big question is right now, and I get it, Joe Schobert, be excited for him. He could be Puzz. He could be even better than Puzz, and I understand that. But let's be realistic here, okay? We're implementing a brand new defense. We don't really have the time right now to do that because with everything going on. It's hard to do it in Zoom calls and things like that. Now, do I say the transition could be easy depending what the defense is going to be? Absolutely. But I still have to see it to believe it, okay? Because what I saw last year on that defensive line and that secondary, it was a very porous defense. And you lost Calais Campbell and you lost AJ Boye. So I get it. You filled some of those holes, but is it going to be enough? We'll find out in training camp. But if the defense can come around, then yes, I think the Jaguars could win some more games.
Well, listen, here's the thing in that regard to me, and I get what you're saying, but I think from a coach's perspective, I kind of tell my kids this all the time. Coaches, I think, want to know what they are getting out of you. Well, we don't know, and to that point, Shad Khan, Dave Caldwell, Doug Marrone haven't known what they're getting out of this Jags football team over the last couple of years. They've been a team of extremes. Like, at this point, I would go for consistent, even if it's average, because you have the great 2017 team that was off the charts on the slider, but then you have the disappointment that was off the charts on the other end in 18. And even last year, you had this mix of it. You had the Minshew mania, the comeback against Denver, the incredible play here at the stadium in the end zone that has been floating around, when he finds DJ Chark.
Yeah.
You had moments like that. You had this great year from Lambeau. He made everything. And then you had given up 200 yards a game on 5 different occasions, rushing the football, which doesn't happen in the NFL. So I think if I'm Doug Marrone and even this organization and probably this fan base, just be consistent about something so I know what I'm getting. You're going to have peaks and valleys because it's sports. It's the NFL, especially. But it would be nice to know what this team is. So, like, what caught me on that is if you say dominance. I don't know if they have to be dominant. I think that's overshooting what this defense probably is and can be, at least on paper.
Sure.
I don't know if they can be dominant. Let's be honest. I've got them at 7 wins for crying out loud, but I don't know if I'm going to sit here and say their defense will be dominant. I think they could be a consistent defense that I know what to expect out of them. You know what? They're going to be pretty good against the run.
That's a start.
They're going to be able to get to the quarterback at times. And you know what? They're also going to give up some plays and make mistakes because they're young. And especially in the secondary, which means, you know what? Those explosive plays that coaches talk about all the time, and you don't want to give them up, and it's on that whiteboard of goals in every game. Don't give this many plays up.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to give them up. Because C.J. Henderson's going to make a mistake, or Trey Herndon isn't going to stop everybody, or Jared Wilson's going to miss an assignment back there, or just can't catch somebody because he's not blazing fast, whatever it might be.
Yep.
That's the team I expect to show up a little bit. But can you begin with, hey, we're pretty good against the run. We're pretty disciplined. We're not off the charts talent-wise, which means we're not great, but I kind of know what I'm going to get. And I think that would be almost a welcome thing for this football team. And then the other side of that's the offense. And the offense is where the slider really can change. Is Leonard Fournette going to be Leonard Fournette? Is he going to be healthy? Is the offensive line going to be able to block on a 4th and 1?
Yeah.
Is Minshew going to deliver in a consistent way? Can DJ Chark follow? There's so many ifs on offense. But if you can just start with a defense that can keep you around and keep you in games, and you know what to get out of them, well, I think that's better for Marrone. I think it's better for Jay Gruden on how to attack things, when to take chances. And I think, quite frankly, around here, it might be better for the fan base to be able to, all right, I know what this team is a little bit at least.
Listen, I think right now, and you brought up some great points, I think right now you would take a top 15 defense all day. Okay? Let's be honest here. If you're Shad Khan, and listen, I don't know where Shad Khan stands right now and what is going to be, like, I guess, the leash where, Doug Marrone and Dave Caldwell maintain their jobs, all right? But I'm talking more about Doug Marrone right now. But if I'm Shad Khan, I'm watching a couple things closely, Okay, number one, obviously the defense has to play better. That's not really, Doug Marone's MO, but I'm just saying in terms of discipline. Okay, because last year there was a lack of discipline. There was a lack of guys getting lined up in the proper gaps. There was a lack of guys doing their jobs, and there was penalties. Okay, most penalized team in the NFL last year. If those habits continue on into a new-looking defense, if those habits continue on with a new offensive coordinator, then you know what, man? That's probably the last straw for me. Okay, can't be the highest penalized team in the NFL and win ball games. Can't be the highest penalized team in the NFL with the roster that we have right now. You just can't do it, and you cannot afford to make mental mistakes like you did last year. Okay, like it's one thing if you're outmanned, outgunned, and the other team's better than you. I'm okay with that. But what I'm never going to accept is the mental errors, and what I'm never going to accept is guys not being lined up properly, because you can control those things. Those things are in the realm of every single football player, and we didn't see that last year. So if I'm Shad Khan, I'm watching that with a microscope to see if you see an improvement, because if not, man, what do you want me to say?
It's a great call, too, because if you think about it, there was a lot on Gus Bradley for that, the lack of discipline, the lack of accountability, players coach. Well, you come in, and obviously things go well in 17, but in 18 and 19, you're talking about Tom Coughlin, the disciplinarian, and this team still looked awful from a discipline standpoint. So was it, or is it really about the coaches, or what the Jags tried to identify, the makeup of the football team? They changed the entire makeup of the football team, and that's what they've done. Now, we'll find out, but you're right on the money there. If that trend continues, well, that's coaching. Yeah. And people, by the way, already might say it's all coaching, all coaching, all coaching. I get it, and you might be right. But this will be a good indicator of that, because they've kind of flushed out some of that where those problems could occur. Sure. Maybe. Some of it's growing pains. I mean, Jawan Taylor looks like a good player, but he did have 15 penalties, I think it was. He's got to clean that up. It's a great point there on that whole discipline, which sometimes drives me nuts, the discipline part of it. Yeah. But I get what you're saying. And to me, it's a combination of things. It's assignments, and it's also then penalties and timely penalties. Again, you can point to teams that have struggled in penalties but still been successful. It doesn't mean, like, turnovers equate to winning. Penalties do not all the time. Yeah. But when you're losing, penalties seem like it's why you're losing.
Correct. And listen, I know people in preseason games, there's two schools of thought, right? They're useless, get rid of them, and then you can learn something, and, guys are trying to make their roster spots. It is what it is. But I'm going to say this. Obviously, during this preseason and during these preseason games, I'm watching the defense, obviously. Let's see the kind of wrinkles that they bring. But I'm also watching the penalties. And I'm watching the discipline. And if you're a Jaguars fan, you should do the same thing. Because I'll never forget,
You noted that early last year. You did.
After that Miami Dolphins game. And then I think it was the third preseason game in a row where they had at least 9 or 10 penalties.
Yeah, you were ticked.
And I said, listen, I get it's the preseason, and I get you have some guys that are young and are going to make mistakes. But this is starting to be an identity of who you guys are right now. All right? It's one thing to have one bad game where, guys' minds are in it. Whatever the reason is, you're entitled to have a bad game. Everyone has a bad game. Let's be honest. But to go over and over and over again and keep accumulating penalties after penalties, no, that's not just a bad game. That's who you guys are. And what do we see the entire season? Penalties. Yeah, okay,
it played out that way.
I'm going to be watching very closely to the defense, number one, to obviously Gardner Minshew, number two, but also the discipline and how many penalties they can attribute to each game. Because if it's going to be in the 10 range again every single game, I'm going to be honest. I might change my number back down to 4 or 5 than 6, and I'm being serious.
Hey, we got to get out of here and take a break. But a quick thought, in the practices with Tampa, do you think the Jags will showcase stuff? If they move to a 3-4 a little bit, will they showcase that? Or will they do what Baltimore and some other teams do and hide it? Because everybody's so scared in the NFL.
No, they are.
They're the most paranoid people in the world is the NFL coaches.
So bad. Listen, to me, you have to showcase it, right? Because it's a great opportunity to go against a high-powered offense, and you want to see what you have on defense. So if I'm Todd Wash, I'm showcasing everything. I'm going to treat this week like a game plan. Literally, I'm going to look at their personnel, and I'm going to tailor my defense around that because it's that important, Brent, okay? Like, the luck that you have to go against the Tampa Bay offense, who might be the number one offense in the entire NFL, like, you have to take prime advantage of that. So I would showcase everything.
It'll be interesting to see if they do just that. By the way, we're doing senior shout-outs here on ESPN 690. You can submit for your senior at ESPN690.com. So let's get a shout-out in heading into the weekend here on a Friday on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 to Jordan Rogers. No, not the one I interviewed a couple weeks back from The Bachelor. This one from Ed White High School. Andrea and Michael Rogers are his parents, and we are proud of you. Go Navy. Sounds like it's Ed to the Navy. Good for you, Jordan Rogers from Ed White High School, as we salute the seniors. Also want to let you know you can make your submission on ESPN690.com. Also, check out CBS 47 and Fox 30 every night, and also all weekend long on Action Sports Shacks Primetime, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. And we give a shout-out to the seniors as well, a little tip of the cap. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 rolls on right after this. When we come back, who wins the AFC South? Who's the team to beat in the AFC South? Is there one? And also want to take a look at Tampa and the Patriots.
All right.
How do you feel about it? A little bit around the NFL when it comes to schedules and what you predict now that those dates are in order. And doesn't everybody feel good about that? It's like there is an NFL season. The dates are out. I know when it's starting. It's amazing how it kind of turns like a new light bulb on us, right? I hope everybody's doing well here on a Friday. Thanks for hanging out with us on ESPN 690. We'll be right back.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny and nice today. Highs in the low 80s, dropping to near 60 degrees tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Did you have to postpone popping the question because of the COVID crisis? Get 5 years, zero interest now at Beards Diamonds.
We've had our new AC unit from Bold City Heating and Air for over a year now, and the entire experience has been great. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You can trust Bold City Heating and Air just like my family has. Right now, Bold City Heating and Air is offering easy financing for repairs or new air conditioning units, and a $500 cash rebate for new air conditioning installations. Get 0% financing for 12 months or 9.9% for up to 96 months. Don't put off that new AC unit or repairs. Get it done now before the season really heats up. The Bold City team is focused on your safety and takes maximum precautions to sanitize and create a safe work zone during these times and all the time. For a free no-obligation consultation and price quote, visit boldcityac.com. Your AC unit is an important investment for you and your family. Do what my family did. You can trust Bold City Heating and Air. J. David Tax Law wants you to know that they are here to help individuals and businesses with tax debt issues during the coronavirus pandemic. Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Tax problems can be extremely stressful, especially now. If you owe a tax debt, there are new programs available that can help reduce or eliminate your IRS or sales tax burden. These programs expire on July 15th, so don't wait. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. With a $1 trillion economic stimulus package on the way, the IRS will be collecting an unprecedented amount of tax debt to fund this historic initiative. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Never trust your tax situation to anyone you can't walk in and look in the eye. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777 or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. The Foot Center Dr. Manual, Native Plant Consulting, Nerd Home Electric, Dunlop Trial Law, JRB Grading. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
The current coronavirus outbreak has caused difficulties for many of our area's small businesses. From losing customers to falling behind in payments, business owners need help. At SCORE, our highly trained counselors are here to help. In Jacksonville, SCORE provides services to almost 6,000 individuals annually. We are currently mentoring virtually and identifying possible financial assistance through the SBA and other resources. Visit jacksonville.score.org for links with more information.
If the COVID crisis postponed your proposal or spending too much time in quarantine put you in the doghouse, show her how much you love her with a beautiful piece of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds.
Right now, get 5 years zero interest financing on anything and everything.
Yes, 5 years, zero interest financing with no money down.
Before you pop the question, ask Beards first. Right now, you can choose from thousands of diamonds at the absolute lowest prices in North Florida.
5 years, zero interest financing for the entire month.
All diamond engagement rings, from solitaires to halos, from 3-stone to side stone.
Shop the largest showroom in North Florida with plenty of room to social distance and take advantage of the rock bottom prices Beards is known for.
Get 5 years zero interest financing on anything and everything.
Only at Beard's Diamonds. Locally owned at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
See the difference. Save thousands.
Hello?
Hey, boss, how's it going?
Hanging like a hermit.
I hear you. Hey, how's your mom doing? I know you're worried because she lives alone and all.
She's good, thanks. Every night she's getting dinner delivered. And every night she answers the door with her SafeTouch security app.
No contact delivery.
Yeah, and SafeTouch cameras are encrypted with all kinds of safeguards.
Yeah, you don't see headlines about SafeTouch systems getting hacked.
Exactly. Can't believe I'm saying it, but I just feel better knowing she has SafeTouch. She's got her emergency buttons, her two-way communicator, the guaranteed response time.
Boss, sounds like you have a love-hate relationship with SafeTouch.
That's complicated. Because being crooks and all, we still gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from SafeTouch houses. Yeah, the struggle is real.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Where is this water coming from?
Who will deliver us lunch?
Why is the air conditioner blowing hot air?
Where can I get a tire fixed?
Do you know someone who can get marker stains out of the carpet?
What do we need to do to get the pool ready?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Chronic or acute pain doesn't just disappear during a crisis, and neither does Cora Physical Therapy. Throughout this time, Cora remains dedicated to your health and safety. With 15 Jacksonville area clinics, Cora Physical Therapy provides quality care wherever you're most comfortable. In clinic, where we disinfect after every touch. Telehealth gives you remote access to licensed therapists, or Cora therapists will even come to you. We are grateful for our patients' trust and our clinicians' bravery. What matters most is your health. So Cora provides care anywhere you prefer it. Learn more at coraphysicaltherapy.com.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau. We at Action Sports Jax hope you and your family are doing well. Coronavirus has forced a lot of people to choose between buying food and keeping the lights on. Whether you're one of these people or not, we're all living through this pandemic together. We've partnered with Feeding Northeast Florida for a virtual food drive so you can help without leaving your house. To donate now, go to ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
For me, there's a comfort level that comes into having a veteran presence in that room, with the young guys that we have, with Gardner and Dobbs and, with Jake now. I feel real comfortable about, where Jay is as the coordinator and a former quarterback and Ben as far as their knowledge and things of that nature. But I always think there's part of learning that occurs, outside of your coaches, with the people that are around you. Having done Mike quite a bit when he was coming out of NC State and having a good background with him and speaking with Jay and speaking with Ben, I really feel that he's going to, help our football team.
That's Doug Marrone earlier today talking about his newest quarterback. Now there's 4 in the room. Mike Glennon.
Yeah.
Remember now, the Jags drafted Jake Luton. They're going with Gardner Minshew. Now everybody believes it. And
welcome aboard.
Joshua Dobbs as well is on the roster, and I think formidable to compete for that backup spot. A guy, I don't think they want to just let him go. I don't know I don't know if there is a casualty in the room. Yeah, they invest that 5th round pick. Now listen, they had plenty of picks this year. I don't think they're losing sleep over the 5th round pick. They bought it almost as an insurance policy last year, and I know it didn't work out, and people will criticize, but I'm just telling you, I don't think they're keeping him in the roster because of the 5th round pick.
Okay.
I get it, why that's reasoning. I thought it was valuable to keep him through last year, and it looked like just in case they didn't sign another veteran guy, they would have him on the roster. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if you get to August and September cuts and you say, well, we just can't let Dobbs go because we invested a 5th round pick. I don't think that would be part of the thinking from inside the building.
Let me ask you this, though. So you invest in a 6th round pick in Chris Luton, all right? And I get it because most likely he'll be on the practice squad, right? And I don't foresee another NFL team coming in and trying to scoop him up right away, right? Because you always have the luxury.
Put him on the roster.
Yeah, you put him on the roster then. So I think he's gonna make the practice squad. But if the plan the whole time was to get a backup quarterback in here, because obviously that was in discussion. Probably an older vet talk about Gardner Minshew. Well, then wouldn't you have rather seen him spend the pick? And I get the running back depth wasn't there in the later rounds. But wouldn't you want to take a chance then on a running back and just, hey, I don't know, it's a 6th round pick. Let's take a shot in the dark and see what we got.
Listen, I don't disagree. I mean, if you go back to our draft coverage, I said that's a head scratcher to me. I don't get it. I don't get the 6th round pick. I don't know what it does. You must really feel like you're getting value here. And some people did. A lot of people applauded that pick.
But be honest, though, they applauded because they don't believe in Gardner Minshew.
Well, that might be true.
Yeah.
But they applauded the pick because I think some like him. Now, some people don't. I just thought it was kind of what you said. I thought it was a little bit of a head scratcher. Mm-hmm. But if you go back and look now, they also spent their 7th round pick on a punt return guy, basically, or kick return guy.
Sure.
So they had that amount of picks to be able to do it. And then they might have been comfortable, by that time, you know how this works. By the 5th, 6th, 7th round, you know who you're signing as a free agent. You know who you have. You feel good about a couple running backs coming in, and maybe they felt that way. Again, I don't disagree with your thought. I'm just trying to find the sense in it myself.
Yeah.
And you take a shot at quarterbacks, and now they've got some. They invested a 5th round pick. They've invested 2 6th round picks on guys. One has turned out to be their franchise guy, at least for 2020. And now this will be a very moderate deal for Mike Glennon, who's been around. I don't mind the veteran presence. I would have been very happy with Andy Dalton in here. Not because Andy Dalton was a 9-year guy and I thought he was unbelievable and was going to push Gardner Minshew. I thought he'd come in here with the idea of being a backup as well. Mm-hmm. But I just liked the veteran presence around a young QB room. I don't know Glennon enough for that. I don't know if I definitely don't feel the exact same way I would have about Dalton because Dalton's familiarity with Gruden as well. But whatever, an older guy, another voice in there. I don't think it's a bad thing. You have a young QB room. If you look at the experience in the NFL in that QB room, it is minimal. Mm-hmm. So I don't mind the concept of it. I guess is the best way to say.
How do you feel about Mike Glennon coming in, though? I mean, does it do anything? I mean,
again, it just adds a voice. It's a voice more than a football player.
You're completely indifferent, right? And I get it, man. Social media, it's not real. Okay, people have opinions and everything. There's people out there well, why don't you get Cam Newton? Then why get Cam Newton? And I don't know how many times I have to drive this point home for people to understand. Once again, I feel humbled because obviously we're not reaching the masses, Brent, like I thought we were. But in terms of Cam Newton or a backup quarterback, whoever you bring in, they will not make a difference for this season, okay? They will not turn the ship around and all of a sudden it's oh, wow, I think we're Super Bowl contenders now. It's not going to happen. And I'm going to say it doesn't happen with Cam Newton either. You think Cam Newton's going to be the savior of the Jacksonville Jaguars? There's 31 other teams that have a chance to get Cam Newton right now. And there's some teams that are desperate for a backup quarterback, number one, or even a starting quarterback. And they haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. So what, you think Jacksonville's just naive and everybody else knows what they're talking about? No, man. It's just, listen, I think Cam Newton's a great quarterback. I think he's had a lot of great years. But to say he's going to come in here and turn around a franchise, you're naive, man. You're naive, and you're not buying into Minshew. You know how I feel about that already. So it's crazy to me, Brent.
Well, there's two things, okay, on the quarterback front. And one is, I love how people would say, if you had signed Jameis Winston or Cam Newton, then I wouldn't. They didn't say this blatantly, but this is what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
Then, well, at least you're not tanking. I wouldn't claim you're tanking if you sign one of those two. What? But does it make you any different than a 6 or 7 or potentially 8-win team? I mean, does it? Are either one of those guys, have they shown the ability to do that with what you think is on the roster? And so people, I got the latest one right before the show today. It's like, well, at least bring in competition for Minshew. Well, you're not getting this then. The idea is to see what you have in Minshew.
Yeah.
He went 6-6.
That's what this year is about.
And somebody brought up a great point on Twitter, and I'm sorry I'm not going to give you credit for it. But why isn't anybody, this is what they said, and I think it's a very valid point. Daniel Jones with the Giants, who, by the way, I like. And I thought,
he's first team all Martineau right now. Yeah.
Why would the Giants not bringing in Winston or Cam Newton? Why aren't they doing that, even though he had worse numbers than Minshew last year?
But why would you do that, Brent? Because he's the future. Why would you try to muddy it? You know?
Why are they not getting labeled as a team that's tanking?
Because Daniel Jones is the future.
Because they have Barkley?
No, because he's the future, Brent. Why would you muddy those waters and bring Cam Newton or Jameis Winston in? Daniel Jones is the future.
Is it fair to wonder if the Giants have a better roster than the Jags? Is it comparable? Are they that much better? Are they better?
I mean, you know how I feel about their offense, right? Like I think their receiving core is better.
Can be good.
Yeah, I mean, Barkley is obviously a game changer.
They're more on the offensive side, yes. Defensively,
no. Defense side, they're still rebuilding as well.
So, but I thought it was a fair point on social media when someone said that to me. It's like, well, why if they didn't bring Cam Newton in, or there's no rumors of that, are they considered a team that's trying to win? Because why? Daniel Jones was picked in the top 10. You said that since day one.
Thank you.
And it's been a good point. And it's like people can't get it out of their mind.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew outperformed your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, figure that out. He outperformed your guy. I was thinking of this today. Minshew, those couple of plays that always float around, the Denver play, you know, and again, were they playing the Texans on the Chark play in the corner of the end zone? Remember the one that he ran around, bought some time, and I think it was the Texans, but I might be wrong about that. But I think you all know what play I'm talking about. There's a Bengals one too, I think, right? There he ran around and made a play. He might have.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a couple of them.
The two that I'm thinking about, that I've seen them on social media the last couple of days, and could you make the case that those are the two best plays that you've seen from a quarterback in a Jacksonville Jaguars uniform, at least since Brent Martineau's been here in 2008?
Sure.
Now, you're going to say, like, the Hail Mary for Garrard.
Goosebumps. Yeah.
But I'm talking about a QB play. And this is what else I thought. Can you imagine how many times those plays would be shown on highlight reels if Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson made those plays? Which, by the way, they have made plays similar to like that. I'm not discrediting them.
Of course.
But those two plays were those kind of plays. Now, listen, Tebow made some unbelievable plays, didn't make him a long-term quarterback in the NFL.
Correct.
I'm not saying that is the pure sign. But why are we having such a hard time with this? The guy outperformed rookies that last year that were picked ahead of him, that people have committed to for at least 2 years, if not 3 or 4 years at the quarterback position, like unequivocally committed to them, and have started building around. The guy has a couple of plays that, in my opinion, last year might be the best QB plays we've seen around here in a decade. And we still have to sit here and convince that the Jags are at least taking a look at a guy that might be the guy. Why is this so hard?
Let me ask you a question, Brent. What were Gardner Minshew's numbers last year again?
6-6.
Take the record out of it.
And 21 touchdowns, 6 picks, I think it was. Or was it 9? I always get that part confused. 6 or 9.
Okay.
21 touchdowns.
And how many picks again?
I thought it was 6.
I think it was. You want to go back to Cam Newton's career and find out numbers that are comparable to Gardner Minshew's numbers like that last year? You have to go back to 2015, okay, where Cam Newton clearly played better than Gardner Minshew.
Won the MVP.
Besides that, 2016, 19-14. 2016, 2017, 22-16. 2018, 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. 2019, obviously got hurt, 1 interception. So go and tell me why Cam Newton should come to Jacksonville and take over. Go ahead and keep telling me that he's the real quarterback and Minshew's not a quarterback. Go ahead and keep on going on Twitter. Keep on going on Jaguars message boards and saying that Cam Newton should be in Jacksonville. Go on and do it. And I'm not gonna use my football prowess. I'm gonna point to the stats. I don't have to use my knowledge of the game of football. All I have to do is look what the guy has done the past 5 years and then get back to me. Oh, and spoiler alert, he's coming off a Liz Frank injury too. Good luck with that. Cool.
But if you got Cam
doing?
Newton, well, you're not tanking. Well, how about you have Gardner Minshew? You're not tanking.
Yeah,
Why can't you say that? I feel like I'm Gardner Minshew's cousin or agent. Like, we have to sit here and defend Gardner. I'm going to ride with Gardner. All right? And all you're doing is making me bow up a little bit more on Gardner.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Like, trust me, man. I'm getting ready to lead a revolution against these Cam Newton supporters, man. Like, I'm all in right now. I'm upset because everyone thinks they know the game of football so much because they have preconceived notions and all this stuff. Just look at the stats. Okay? Just take a chance, man. Just see what you got. But no, let's bring Cam Newton. It drives me absolutely crazy. And tell you what, Brent, if we're at training camp once again, and I've mentioned this before, but when we're at training camp, and if there's a national guy or even a local guy that comes up to me, he's like, hey, we should get Cam Newton here for a little competition, I'm going to freak out. Okay? I'm going to lose my marbles, and I'm going to freak out. Just to let you know.
Listen, I admittedly have been kind of the guy that will die on a hill. I watched Blaine Gabbert. Let's go back to Garrard. I always thought David Garrard was better than people gave him credit for. And when I said this a long time when in my early years here in Jacksonville, when Garrard is gone, you will say that he was better than you think he is. Because if you go back to like your rookie year, the people around here absolutely just crushed Garrard. I mean, they were so done with it. They wanted something else. They wanted the franchise guy.
The players in that locker room believed in Garrard.
Now listen, I'm not sitting here putting David on this pedestal of like one of the all-time greats. I'm just saying he was better than people gave him credit for. And I think, by the way, recent history has shown that David was pretty good, won a lot of football games, made a lot of plays, did some good things in a Jags uniform. Then you go to Gabbert, and again, admittedly, I saw the guy throw the football in practice. And as much as I love Jack Del Rio for coming on the show a couple of times, I still believe putting him in when he did screwed that guy's career up, and he couldn't rebound from it. And I think proof has been in the pudding now. He wasn't going to be Andrew Luck. He wasn't going to be one of these guys. But I also don't know if he was going to be as bad as he started off and just couldn't recover from here in Jacksonville. I mean, the guy had no chance after the first year. And he, by the way, at that time didn't seem to have the mental fortitude to overcome that either. But I don't know if we ever saw some of the gifts or how good of a player Gabbert could have been if he was in the right situation or used correctly. I think Jacksonville kind of screwed him up.
Well, and let me say this right now.
And that is not, by the way, don't misinterpret that saying I think Gabbert should have been way better, all this stuff. I don't know if he was going to the Pro Bowl and all that. I think he proved that he wasn't that guy. He was a bust at where he was picked. But I just think Jacksonville kind of helped screw him up early on.
No, it did. And listen, this isn't really necessarily my story to tell here, but regarding Jack Del Rio and playing Blaine Gabbert over Dave Garrard, I'm here to tell you, having been in that locker room and saw what happened the day that Dave got cut on the bus and everything, it wasn't Jack Del Rio's call to start playing Gabbert. And it wasn't Jack Del Rio's call to cut Dave Garrard. Okay? Now, once again, I'm not saying it's my story to tell, but there's a lot more to it than just going Jack Del Rio was a big Blaine Gabbert fan and they want to get Dave Garrard out of there. On the contrary. That's all I'm going to say.
And by the way, Gabbert was Jack, as he told us, was in a buffet line when that call was made. So what I'm assuming is that came from up top.
Correct.
With Gene Smith and maybe even further up top from ownership, but definitely from Gene Smith. So fair story. But I'm here to admit to you that I've died on I was never like, I don't think I was that far in on Gabbert. Now, I was in on Bortles, and I died on the hill of Bortles.
Yeah.
I saw my argument with Bortles a lot of times was kind of what people, if you defend Jameis Winston now, make. Now, I know you just laughed at me. You just said you just compared Bortles to Winston. Yeah. Well, they have similar problems.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They turn the football over.
Yeah.
But what I would say sometimes about Bortles is there's a toughness about that guy that's respected. He plays every snap. You don't have to worry about that. And I am not going to write off the fact that he's thrown 30 touchdowns just as much as he's thrown 22 picks or turned it over.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to throw touchdowns in the NFL. You have to be doing something right. And I think Bortles never got credit for doing anything right. And Winston's kind of in that category right now, right? You say every time somebody says, well, he threw for 4,000 yards and 30. Yeah, but he threw 30 picks. He threw 30 picks. Well, but he did throw like 30-something touchdowns and lead the league in passing. Like, the guy has something good in there. The thing is, can you narrow it down and get rid of some of the bad? That's the big challenge with Winston. We'll find out. Bortles, it always came back to it. Like, I could die on that hill, and it didn't matter because I got proven wrong.
If there's one thing I wish about our show, I wish we had our show back then because I would have disagreed with you about Bortles every single day.
And you wouldn't have been alone, by the way.
No, for sure.
I was in the minority on it.
I know, and as you should be.
And by the way, I was wrong on it. I mean, I got proven wrong on it, right?
You know what? You had a stance, and I can see where you're coming from, but I'm just saying we would have went back and forth, and I'll say it like this. Like, Bortles had a great year in 2017, right? And yes, he did throw a lot of touchdowns. And I make the argument of a couple of things. Number one, I make the argument of like, well, how do those touchdowns look? You know, like, were they a lot of jump balls? I mean, were they skillful throws, whatever like that? But at the end of the day, and I always say this, Blake Bortles is the only guy ever in the history of football to make me swear in front of my TV, in front of my family. Okay? When he threw, I think it was against the Houston Texans, forgot what year it was, but he threw like his third pick six in a row, whatever it was. Yeah. And I dropped the biggest F-bomb ever. And my wife looked at me, asked, who am I? And then my son looked up and, what was that, Dad? Huh? Oh, I'm going to repeat it like 10 times now. And he started saying it. Like, that's on Blake Bortles. So I can never be a big Blake Bortles supporter because he changed the way I viewed the game of football.
I think, by the way, Bortles to me, and I think this happens to some of us, and Minshew might be in this category from a fan perspective. I'm saying from a media, he's such a good dude, you want him to be good.
Yeah.
You know, you want him to be successful.
Yeah.
And you know, by the way, around here, we're desperate for somebody to be successful. Mm-hmm. So, you know, hook your hat to somebody.
Yeah.
Well, so sorry, Gardner. I hope you're not listening to the show, but I've been wrong on a lot of quarterbacks. So it might be better if I doubt you.
Hey, don't worry, though. The QB whisperers here, and I got your back too, Gardner. Don't worry about it. Yes, yes.
So here we are, and I'm just... I just don't get the difference. The start of this segment was from Glennon to Minshew, the national guys finally get it. Why can't other people get it?
And Cam Newton's not coming
here. Why
here.
can't you ride with this guy and give him a shot to be the guy? Other franchises are doing it with the guys that performed less last year. Simple as that. And I just saw him make a couple of plays at the quarterback position that I haven't seen in Jacksonville since I've been here. I can at least attach myself to that.
Let's see what the kid's got.
And now let's see what he's got. He's got a chance to prove it in 2020. Man, he got all fired up. I'll get to the AFC South and the Patriots and the Bucs later, I guess. We got an hour to go.
I can tell these UFC breakdowns are getting cut for time, but it's all good, man.
We'll get to it. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. It rolls on next. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app. These can be unsettling times, but CGC Water Treatment wants you to know that they are there for you and your family. CGC Water Treatment has 50% savings for you. Purchase a Premier Softener and save 50% off a K5, Connecticut's premier reverse osmosis system. When the shelves at the stores are empty, it's a great feeling to have purified water right at home. Call 904-694-2242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
Ortho Edge understands the need for medical treatment in times of uncertainty, so the office will remain open. Ortho Edge takes your health and safety as well as the well-being of staff very seriously. All patients will be screened for COVID-19 symptoms, and strict sterilization and disinfection procedures are in place. Ortho Edge also offers telemedicine, giving patients the ability to receive care via video chat from the safety of their home. Visit orthoedge.com or call 204-5000. Ortho Edge, located in the DePaul Building, St. Vincent's, Riverside.
This is a CMG Build Jax Business Report. During these changing times, it's challenging for all. Business across North Florida, big and small, are adjusting to meet your needs and give you great deals to build back. Like George Moore Chevrolet, 0% APR for 84 months. See dealership for other incentives. Please support local stimulus. Email buildjax@cmg.com. That's buildjax@cmg.com. We're in this together, and together we will win.
Tire Outlet, the local name in tires that you know and trust, is now offering mobile installation. Tire Outlet mobile installation is safe, no hassle, quick, and same day at your home or office. A Tire Outlet professional will bring and install your tires right on site while staying safely distanced. The only thing easier than getting new tires with mobile installation is making the appointment. Call 904-600-0089 to reserve an appointment. Tire Outlet is part of the First Coast community and is in this with you.
Is your business losing sales from the current pandemic? Are you trying to remain in touch with important clients? If you're struggling with questions like this, you're not alone. Many small businesses are currently in a severe crisis and need immediate assistance. As the nation's premier organization supporting small businesses, SCORE offers webinars on a variety of topics that can help you manage through this crisis. Click on the Take a Workshop tab at jacksonville.score.org and register today.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you.
First Place Management Properties, Wise Pharmacy, Swan Home Team, Installed Building Products, Studio to Fit, Air Doctors.
If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Sometimes it's a battle. Oh, those allergies here in the Southeast. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. I know all about the allergies, and it seems like we are always in allergy season around here. Right now, Bold City Heating and Air is offering air conditioning system sanitizing with pricing starting at $125. Sanitizing your air conditioning system will ease up allergens getting into your home through your air conditioning system. And as much time as we are all spending working from home lately, it's time to get your AC system sanitized. Contact Bold City Heating and Air today to get more information on their air conditioning sanitizing special. Just go visit boldcityac.com. If you need a new AC unit, Bold City has 0% financing options and rebates as well. Up to 0% financing for 12 months or 9.9% for up to 96 months. Do what my family did. See my friends at Bold City Heating and Air to make things more comfortable in your home. Just go visit boldcityac.com.
If the COVID crisis postponed your proposal or spending too much time in quarantine put you in the doghouse, show her how much you love her with a beautiful piece of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds.
Right now, get 5-year zero-interest financing on anything and everything. All diamond engagement rings, from solitaires to halos, from 3-stone to side-stone.
Shop the largest showroom in North Florida with plenty of room to social distance and take advantage of the rock-bottom prices Beard's is known for. Locally owned at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work? Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Trade Pros. Ferguson is committed to making business with us the easiest part of your day. Ferguson.com is designed to help run your business from the office to the job site by making your day-to-day activities easier with 24/7 account access, unmatched online inventory, and on-the-go account management. And with our Pro Plus customer loyalty program, you can earn points with every online purchase, redeemable for merchandise, event tickets, trips, and more. Sign up today at Ferguson.com.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best network, same as the big carriers, but you save up to 50%. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Now obviously with the mini camp is the goal of the rookie mini camp is to kind of get them acclimated and kind of get them caught up a little bit, to what we've already done with the veteran players from an installation standpoint. Once next week starts, then everything gets integrated. So in other words, the rookies are with the veterans in these meetings as we're installing. Well, a lot of times, and we've all been through this situation before, and the way we try to avoid it is that we try to tell the rookies, hey, listen, go ahead and listen, take a lot of notes, and then the veteran players are excused, and then comes those sessions maybe that you're discussing, the one-on-ones or, two-on-ones or whatever it may be.
Well, that's Doug Marrone explaining the whole process of virtual periods and virtual learning, and Jags are a couple weeks into this thing now. And the rookies started this weekend or started today and get rolling on it. Also, Tampa and the Jags practicing, if that is allowed, by the time we get to August. Schedule, of course, is out. Preseason is interesting. Jags on the road, the first two at Carolina, at Tampa, then home for a couple. No surprise in terms of the keeping it regional. That's usually the case anyway. But it'll be home against Washington for the third game, which is usually the biggest one, and home against Atlanta, which seems like an every year thing. Teams love being home for that fourth game because that fourth game to travel is like the worst. And by the way, this is last year we'll have 4 preseason games. Go to 3-17 next year. Friendly reminder that all the games are on CBS 47 and Fox 30, except we're not sure just yet, I think, on that Thursday night game against Miami. Usually there's like a bidding process with local stations, so we'll see what happens with that game. But CBS 47, Fox 30, your official Jaguar stations, and all the games. You can always watch them all fall long. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos got all fired up on the Minshew front. I mean, is this going to happen like weekly? Probably. It's going to happen weekly. It just is.
Yeah. As long as message board is still a thing, it's going to happen, bro.
But, hey, Coos, was it Jacob or something? Do we have a hater for Austin? Because I need it, right? I mean, I've been getting lit up on Twitter all week about the Heat, about primetime games.
The 690 syndicate runs strong with me, man.
I mean, Austin's cousin is on here on Twitter getting after me every day.
First of all, it's all my cousins, right? I have a very small family, 2 cousins in Texas. They don't listen to the show. They have baseball. They don't have baseball going on right now, but they're busy. They don't listen to the show. They should, but they're not. But I love how when someone goes after you, and I kind of get a little cocky about it because I'm a cocky individual sometimes, and your excuse is, well, it's only one person. It's only one person. Oh, I'm sorry. When is the last time that someone actually agreed with you and went against me? Go ahead and think about it. I'll wait. Hey, I'll wait. I'll wait.
To be fair, Jacob doesn't necessarily agree with you. He just disagrees with what Austin's doing.
All I'm saying is, when is the last time somebody actually agreed with Brent Martineau on Twitter and went against me? I will wait.
I'll have to go find out. But also,
going back to the archives a year ago.
I'll have to go to the archives. Maybe it's on the pronunciation of Puzzlosny. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fair. Cheap shot, but that's fair.
Yeah, a little cheap shot in.
Yeah, it's all right.
To get that in. Yep. Or maybe it's just because you're 6'6", 245, and they're afraid you'll come over to their house and kick their ass.
People are scared, man. Better get in that squat rack then, Brent. Build the body up a little bit, man.
They haven't seen me how I've been working. They underestimate me.
Walking, right? Long walks with the wife. Yeah.
Some push-ups.
Your endurance is off the charts right now. Your cardio's good.
Yeah. Shot 80 today.
There you go. I mean, that's going to strike fear in a lot of people. keep bringing up those golf scores.
Hey, it's funny. I was like, how was I thinking of today in golf? And I was thinking of the predictions that we made. So you have like 6 and 10. I've got 7 and 9, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think predictions are hilarious anyway in the NFL. I think it's really, again, it's the toughest thing to do. We base it off last year and kind of what their roster looks like in April. And that's all we have.
Yep.
But it's hard. But I said, I don't even know what I predicted last year. Like we were talking in the break, it's like 8 and 8 or 9 and 7 or. So it's a little bit like my golf game. In golf, I say this to Ty. I'm like, I get so pissed off in golf if I shoot like 85 instead of 83.
It's 2 strokes.
And I'm like, I say it to Ty all the time. Like on the way back home, I'm like, I don't know why I'm so mad, because when I walk in this door, I could care less if I shot 80, 83, or 85. It means
it's
nothing.
It's not like you're in the local championships or anything.
It means absolutely nothing.
Have fun, man.
Well, it's kind of like the score prediction stuff. It's kind of like using Heat as an example for the Indianapolis Colts to lose in the Open.
Yeah. Well,
at the end of the day, nobody really cares
but
if we got it wrong or right.
Exactly.
Unless
they're not going to remember.
I'm putting a lot of money on it.
But you know what? But someone said something on, was it Facebook that you were talking about?
Yeah, let's get the Austin hater out here. I need him.
Well, I wouldn't even say hater. He
No,
just
no,
disagrees
no.
with what
Let's
Austin.
Brent's trying to pour gasoline to a fire that's not even started, but okay, go ahead.
Let's call him a hater.
He said that Foles will have better numbers than Minshew this season.
Okay, and this is the camera right here, right? Because was it on YouTube or was it on Facebook, Instagram?
Jacob, on YouTube.
Oh, so he's watching the live stream.
Yeah.
They see he gets closer to scare him. Hey, this is an intimidation tactic.
Hey, Jacob. K. And that's all I'm going to say.
But do you think he would? Will?
K. That's all I'm going to say.
That would be a bad thing, by the way, if like Foles comes out and lights it up.
Okay, against the Jaguars?
No, just in general.
Yeah.
The Jags just traded him away.
Yeah. I mean, he still has to. Did you see what Ryan Pace said, the GM, Chicago Bears? So they asked him, because they didn't extend the fifth-year option.
Yeah, Trubisky, yeah.
Pace comes out and says, "Don't worry though, he's still our guy going forward." I mean, you cannot extend you cannot not extend the guy's 5th-year contract and say he's still the guy going forward. That's all I'm going to say,
Plus,
man. Pace, what are you doing?
They redid the contract for Foles and stuff. It's almost like they're more committed to Foles now than they are Trubisky.
Yeah.
Why are we so concerned about the feelings of quarterbacks?
Yeah.
It's a mystery to me.
Yeah.
It is.
For sure.
But we are.
Yeah.
I mean, not we, but they.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
They treat them like kid gloves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay, AFC South. I've been wanting to get to this for a while. Who's the team to beat? I think it's obvious. I think the Colts.
Sure.
And you know, the other thing about that, people are putting words in my mouth on the Colts. It was wasn't that the context of that with Jason Fitz, like the bold prediction, or was it the actual prediction? No, it was the prediction because we predicted Saints.
Correct.
Right. So Saints, Colts.
Well, that's what you said, yeah.
Yeah, way too early prediction is
Correct.
what it was.
And then Jason Fitz said that you need to be drug tested.
I did. That's when the drug testing conversation started.
Yeah, and then you started on this laundry list, this long line of just crazy comments that kind of warranted drug testing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think the Colts have it. I'm putting my dollars on the Colts to have good Phillip Rivers show up. And if good Phillip Rivers shows up, then I think people wouldn't think that's as outrageous. Now, I've got a chance to look really bad here, because if bad Phillip Rivers shows up, the Colts are going to be average. Mm-hmm. Pretty average, I would think.
Yeah. Well, and listen, am I a little bitter because I said last year Phillip Rivers would be the MVP of the National Football League? Yeah, I am. So I'm a little bitter towards him, okay? So
don't hold grudges or anything.
Oh, I know, right?
Sorry, Jacob.
So with that being said, though, listen, I get what you're saying, right? Because Foles Phillip Rivers last year, you can say, well, the offensive line didn't really hold up, right? The guy was running for his life, and let's be honest, Phillip Rivers is a lot of things, but a mobile quarterback is not one of them. So you put him on probably the best offensive line, if not the top 3 best offensive lines in the NFL. Okay, cool. You give him some decent weapons, T.Y. Hilton, Jack Doyle at tight end, obviously a really great ground attack, which you can use to set up the play action. So I see where you're coming from, Brent. But once again, I make the argument, I think me and Fitz kind of share the same opinion here, where if Foles couldn't get it done with explosive Chargers offense, what makes you think he can get done with the Colts offense?
Yeah, Rivers is.
I'm sorry, I keep saying
Foles right now.
I keep saying I'm all in on Foles right now.
For a guy who really likes Minshew, you're talking a lot about Foles.
I know, right? My bad, man. Rivers, though.
Here's the deal. I got Indianapolis winning the AFC South at 10-6. I don't have them as this 14-2, 13-3 team.
Yeah.
I think people get that mixed up. It's like, you can go to the Super Bowl without winning like 13, 14 games in the regular season. Like, it's allowed.
That's what I heard.
I mean, heck, even Kansas City, they struggled midway through the year last year. They had 12 wins on the season, which is nice, but that's it. I mean, it's not like Baltimore won 14 and didn't go. They lost their first playoff game, remember.
Let me ask you this, though. Okay, so you like the Colts. You got them going to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Yep. And I have them win the AFC South.
Yep. Do you have a wild card team in there?
I didn't do that.
Oh, no. But, I mean, do you think another team could go to the wild card, though,
I think they could. I have Tennessee at 9-7, which, by the way, that might be the nicest thing I've ever done in my life.
Brent Martineau is all in on the Tennessee Titans. Giving them a winning record, that's all in for you with the Tennessee Titans.
How about the Tennessee Titans? When I did my schedule and I do it out like this, I have them winning 6 in a row at one time before fading a bit down the stretch.
Dang.
So I have them 9-7.
Okay.
How about this? You know, I have the Jags at 7-9, so I've got them finishing third place ahead of the Houston Texans, who disappointingly go 6-10. Now, I have the Texans 3-2 out of the gates, but then they go on this slide where they lose 8 out of 9 games, and Bill O'Brien gets fired in late November, early December.
Ooh, right before he trades J.J. Watt away, too. Just the ultimate exclamation point for the Houston Texans franchise. Or Deshaun Watson, even better. Both of them, a package trade.
Seriously, is that out there, though? 6-10 for Houston. Some of the stuff that he's tried doesn't work. Watson missing DeAndre Hopkins. And O'Brien, who's been on a bit of a hot seat anyway. I wouldn't say they're content with him, although he's outperformed probably his perception. And now this whole thing with the GM stuff doesn't look like it's working.
Yeah.
I just think there's a trend here to say, you know what? Would you be stunned if Bill O'Brien is fired at some point during the 2020 season? It wouldn't shock me.
I'll tell you what, man. Look at the Texans' schedule.
And it's a brutal one.
Their first
it's a brutal one.
8 games. I mean, we're talking at Chiefs, home to the Ravens, at the Steelers, home to the Vikings, home to the Jaguars, at Tennessee, Green Bay home, and then at the Jaguars.
By the way, if you like New England, they have New England a couple weeks later and a Cleveland team that should be pretty good.
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, once again, just predictions, but it's not out of the realm of possibility to say they go 2-6 to start things out with. So I agree with you.
How about this, though? This is the funny thing, right? This is, again, I use this formula, and I try to get, when I do predictions, I say, hey, they're going to beat somebody you don't think they're going to beat. And Houston can play with some teams because Deshaun Watson can lift them up, you know?
Sure.
Well, I got them beating Baltimore in week 2.
And now we're back to drug testing again. There's no. I see it.
Do you think
listen,
Baltimore's
I
going
don't.
16-0?
No, I don't think so, man. I'm just giving you a hard time.
But you're right about that murderer's row to start, man. I mean, KC, Baltimore, Pitt, Minnesota. It's a start the year.
Yeah. Oh, you know what that looks like? It looks like I'm going to spend a lot more time on that Twitter handle for the Houston Texans going through the mentions because people are going to be irate.
I have an AFC South that is actually more bunched up than people would think, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, what happened last year? 2 teams went pretty far.
It's really happened a lot.
Yeah.
Nobody's run away with this division since Peyton Manning played in it. If I remember correctly. Heck, even the Jags, when they were so good in 2017, I mean, they won the division by a game. They went 10-6.
Yep. So to answer the question of who do I foresee seeing the AFC South, go and put your earmuffs on because you're not going to like it, obviously. But I think the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would go there.
Yeah, I just think that you essentially bring back your entire roster that you had last year. You lose Conklin, you replace him in the draft, so we'll see that we're there. But overall, essentially the same team. And guess what? You've actually bolstered your defensive line a little bit, right? I forgot who they had. Who was the
Vic Beasley?
Yeah, who's the guy last year? The old guy, Cameron Wake. Was like their defensive end last year, and he's like 40 years old.
They let Casey go too, though.
Yeah, so
maybe an under talked about.
But to be fair, though, I think Casey was. I don't know for sure, but there's rumors out there saying he was kind of like a locker room problem.
Yeah, well, that's not surprising. He's kind of that guy.
So I mean, I think overall, you bring everybody back. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill gets paid. Think about what you want with that, Derek. I mean, the only thing for me going forward is if Derrick Henry has a problem with anything going on.
Well, not only that, man, but can he duplicate it? I love Derrick.
Yeah.
But he did they rode him, man. I mean, as much as you can ride a guy, for to the playoffs, they did that with Derrick Henry.
But don't forget, though, Ryan Tannehill led like 5 game-winning drives, though, too. Like, they won a lot towards the end of the season with Ryan Tannehill's arm.
They got a little more explosive on offense. You're right.
Once they got to the playoffs, though, it was the Derrick Henry show.
Good
point. I mean,
point.
don't get it twisted. Once the playoffs, then it's like the workhorse Derrick Henry.
So who are they, right? I mean, are they going to be the team that goes with Derrick Henry and rides the running back, or are they more put it in his hands and let him do stuff?
This is why I think the Titans win the division, because we don't know who they are. And you know what? Defensive coordinators may not know who they are. Like, the logic would say you stack the box, you stop Derrick Henry, beat Ryan Tannehill, make Ryan Tannehill beat you. But you know what, man? A.J. Brown showed something last year. Okay? Like, their receiving core, Jonnu Smith coming back at tight end, they're not that bad. And they always get overlooked, obviously, because they run the ball first. But I think if Ryan Tannehill can have a repeat performance of last year, the Titans can win the division.
If there's a Brent in Nashville that's like sunshine and rainbows like I am, I seriously look at Tennessee's schedule
Yeah.
and I would be like, they're going 13-3.
Oh, I know.
I mean, if you look at their schedule, you're like, okay, that's
that
doable.
also helps out
now,
as
listen,
well.
Like, I've got them losing at Denver on Monday Night Football to start the year. But if I was a Tennessee guy, I'd be like, yeah, we'll go win that game. I mean, it's Drew Lock in Denver. Who cares, right? And they go through a stretch, too, where they have Pittsburgh, I think, at home.
Yep.
Buffalo, I think, might be at home.
At home as well.
Then they go Houston, Cincinnati, Chicago, Indy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And I've got them winning all those games.
Yep.
Now, it's the NFL. You're going to lose a couple in there probably that I don't think. But, again, if there's Brent Sunshine and Rainbows like a president of their club, like they've probably got them 13-3 or 14-2. They might.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the Nashville chapter.
I hate them, and I had them winning 6 in a row.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't let them win the division. I understand that because it runs deep for you. But, yeah, I think the Titans right now are my team to win.
All right. A couple other teams I want to look at real quick.
Yep.
Tampa Bay. How good are they going to be? Take a look at Tampa's schedule. And it might be easier, by the way, to find the losses. You can find a loss in week 1. They come out of the new Brady era. They're in New Orleans, though, against a Saints team that's stacked, played together for a long time. The continuity of New Orleans, that's a loss. I'm going to give the Saints a win there, right?
Oof. Yeah.
The Dome's rocking.
No, absolutely, yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
They got Carolina, Denver.
Win. It's a win.
And I want you to pay attention. The hard games they have, all at home, I think. Chargers are at home, right?
Correct.
Chicago.
Is that Chicago? But
it doesn't matter. I'm not saying that's a hard game.
They don't scare me.
Green
Packers
Bay,
at home.
Vegas, they go to Vegas, don't they?
Correct.
Okay, then they got the Giants. They got the Saints at home again, obviously in division.
Yeah.
At Carolina. Rams home.
home.
Kansas City.
Man,
Where is that?
Hey, it's at home. You mean to tell me that there's not some kind of conspiracy going on right now with this schedule? Because this is the first time I've actually seen it for the Buccaneers.
Minnesota.
And how this thing shakes out at home.
Home.
Yeah.
Every hard team they face.
Oh, Detroit on the road. So brave. It's going to be a rough one.
It's unbelievable.
Man.
Now, listen, when I did Tampa's schedule, I was like, okay, again, like I say, they're going to lose a game that you don't predict them to lose. That game for me was Chicago. I got them going to Chicago and losing.
Sure.
But
is that a late? Is that like
that's
late
like mid?
Okay.
Gotcha. But they're already like 4-1 at that point when I got them losing. Then,
yeah.
I got them losing to Las Vegas on the road.
Okay.
All right, whatever.
Sure.
They'll be amped up to play. Listen, the Bucs aren't going 15-1. They don't strike me as that team. They really don't. But I've got them. I end up with 11-5.
Winning the division or second place wild card? Do you think?
Well, I'm riding the Saints in the Super Bowl, so I
wild
think the Saints. I didn't do the Saints schedule, but I would consider the Saints like a 13-3 kind of team.
Yeah. Okay. So Buccaneers, man, like.
But they'll go to the playoffs. Tampa will with that record.
I mean, yeah, I don't see the Chargers beating them. I don't see them. I mean, I see what you're saying with the Bears, primetime Fox. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, would that be like a Thursday nighter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a short week.
You know what? I can see Green Bay coming in.
Yeah.
I can see. Obviously, I think the Saints beat them twice. I really do. I'm that confident in the Saints. So that's 3 losses right there. I think the Chiefs beat them. I think the Chiefs are going to be the real deal. They're my Super Bowl pick. So
I have the Chiefs beating them.
And
maybe a split with Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
And maybe the Rams as well.
Yeah, so 4 or 5.
Time. Yeah, so let's go ahead and call
12-4.
I'm going to say 11-5.
All right, that's what I got.
11-5.
Okay.
Yep.
Last one to take a look at because we got a lot on the line here.
A lot on the line, Brent.
I have Jags. By the way, if you think I've said a lot of stupid things today and you're just new to the show, I've got a bet.
Welcome.
Somebody might claim this is the new Huckleberry bet.
Oh, wait, is this?
There's a conversation about
I thought me and you had one.
No, we
have
already
one
have
too.
One.
You made another one.
It's in negotiations whether this should be the Huckleberry bet for this year.
What did you
concerned for Brent?
What did you do?
What?
Hey,
at what point with all the gambling are
how
we concerned for
many
Brent?
times do I have to tell you this? Didn't you learn last year? Like, yes, the Huckleberry bet last year. You were close.
I was close.
Okay, but what did I say? When you make these bets with the ESPN 690 brand, you represent me, you represent Coos. Reputations and jobs are on the line. And now you mean to tell me that you made a reckless bet with the New England Patriots?
It's in negotiation.
What are you thinking? What did you do?
It's the same bet. The Jags will have more wins than the Patriots.
And obviously, you think the Jaguars will have more. Okay. And the person Huckleberry bet is taking the Patriots.
Yes. But they're hesitating because they know.
Does this person have his own radio show I can go on and hang out with too?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. No, I'm good.
All right. So.
But this person's hesitating, though.
Hesitating.
Wow.
This person's hesitating.
Little too hot in the stove, huh? All of a sudden can't handle the heat?
Don't like it as well as last year's
Wow.
Huckleberry bet.
Okay. Let's go over it then. See what you got, Brent, because keep in mind you had the Jaguars winning 7 games.
I have
this
Jags
year.
winning 7.
Go ahead and break this.
Now, I've got to be honest with you here.
Yeah.
I actually did schedule, I didn't add up wins and losses for any of the teams that I predicted until after the fact.
Okay.
So I didn't know. I mean, you kind of get a gauge where you have them, but I didn't know exactly.
You don't go exactly. Yeah.
And I will say, I actually went back and gave the Patriots another win. I was like, nah, I don't think that's going to be true.
It's very generous of you. Okay.
I'm trying to be as realistic as I can here.
Okay.
The Patriots, Miami week 1, I've got them winning. Revenge from last year's week 17.
I like that. Belichick's going to be ticked off.
But then they lose against Seattle.
Okay.
They beat Vegas.
Okay.
That's one I switch, I think. They lose against Kansas City, so they're 2-2. They beat Denver. They're 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where it gets ugly. Comes
the Foxborough.
People get a little tape on Stidham.
Comes the Foxborough. Okay.
San Francisco beats them.
Comes the Foxborough. Okay.
Buffalo beats them.
Okay.
At the Jets.
Yep.
Loss. Baltimore beats them.
I'm done.
Houston beats them.
I'm done. This
Arizona, that's a win.
This is absolutely ludicrous.
They go out to L.A. for 2 games. Yeah. I almost had a split here. But I'm like,
losing them. Chargers?
We're losing them both.
The Chargers? Okay. You're right.
Chargers are better than the Patriots.
Go on.
Wait a minute. I'd take you. Listen, I'm not a Tyrod Taylor guy, but I will take Tyrod Taylor over Jarrett Stidham.
I'm going to let you speak your piece. I'll speak my piece. Please continue.
I've got them sweeping the Dolphins so they win again. But I got them getting swept by Buffalo so they lose against Buffalo. And they win the finale against the Jets to get to 6-10. Patriots are 6-10. Oh, man. I tell you, I'm not buying Ruth's Chris kind of steak for everybody, but I'll buy you something. If the Patriots are 6-10 this year.
I'm just wondering when this intervention's got to happen with whatever you're on. Eventually, I have to talk to your wife, and we got to set something up, and you got to come in and take a seat because we have to talk to you about your picks right here.
Now, listen, I at least didn't fire Bill Belichick like I did Bill O'Brien.
Oh, so he still has a job? Well, how generous of you. The guy that's won how many Super Bowls keeps his job after one bad year? So generous. Okay.
But he might not be able to handle that little stretch where he loses like 7 out of 8.
All right, real quick. I got Dolphins at Patriots. Patriots win that game. At Seattle, they lose. Raiders at Patriots. Patriots find a way. They win. Patriots at Chiefs. Chiefs win. Broncos at Patriots. Patriots win. 49ers at Patriots. Bill Belichick finds a way. They win. Patriots at Bills. They lose. Patriots at Jets. They win. Ravens at Patriots. Patriots find a way. They win. Patriots at Texans. Patriots find a way. They win. Cardinals at Patriots. Patriots find a way. They win. Patriots at Chargers. Ooh, the West Coast trip. That's right. Bill Belichick's one of the best coaches of all time. Defensive-minded guy. They find a way to win. Patriots at Rams. You know what? McVay has his moment in the sun. Enjoy yourself. Primetime television. I'll give it to the Rams. Patriots at Dolphins. Bills at Patriots. Patriots find a way to win. And then Jets at Patriots. Patriots find a way to win. So 1, 2. So what do we got? 12. Yeah.
You just said the Patriots without Tom Brady go 12-4. But the Tampa Bay Bucks with Tom Brady go 11-5. You're out of your mind.
No, I'm kidding. But realistically, though, listen, I was a little exaggeration there. I think the Patriots win 10 games. 10-6. 10-6.
10-6. All right.
10-6.
I'm writing it down.
Put it down on the board.
10-6. I gotta find a new spot for this. Here we go. I'll do it right here.
Yep.
10-6 Pats, 11-5 Bucks.
And then Jarrett Stidham comes out and says, "What's up, Brett Marno? Should have picked me instead of Daniel Jones." Peace.
Who has a better year, Stidham or Minshew?
Oh, Minshew.
Okay, at least you
come on.
At least you don't need a drug test. We got South Beach Gary on the line. I guarantee he wants to tell me the Dolphins are going 14-2.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I love it. The Dolphins don't have a bye till week 11. I usually give them in the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. But that's Tua's Tyrannicals for you there, Austin. Tua's Tyrannicals.
Let me go ahead and Google that word real quick so I can see what it means, but I'll take your word for it.
Tua's a dinosaur.
Oh, I got you. That's what it is?
I don't know. Tyrannical.
Okay. Is that what tyrannical means?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
What you got? How good are the Dolphins going to be?
How good are the Dolphins going to be? Oh, at least 11 wins if Tua starts the
season. Do you think he is, seriously? I don't.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor, Brent. The last time, but I did stay at Holiday Inn Express before.
And by the way, Brent, tyrannical means a characteristic of tyranny, oppressive or controlling.
I don't know if Tua wants to be associated with that.
I don't care what Tua wants. That's the nickname.
We'll see if he signs off on it.
Characteristic of tyranny,
I don't know if he's
oppressive, and controlling.
trademarking that like Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Winning 10 games last year, I believe, too. On Tuesday.
All right. I'm assuming you have the Dolphins beat the Jags on prime time here in Jacksonville.
Well, certainly. If Tua started, of course. But seriously, guys, the Dolphins had a great draft. They addressed the offensive line issues. I mean, they've got great cornerback depth now.
How many corners do you guys need?
Howard and the kid they signed from Auburn, Austin. That's a great secondary. I don't know one position the Jags are better than the Dolphins now.
Defensive end, pass rusher, probably quarterback. How many cornerbacks do you guys need?
Linebacker?
No, linebacker.
What do you have down there, Van Noy?
We got Jerome Baker. We got Van Noy. Come on, the Jags have linebackers better than those two.
I don't know. They got $100 million wrapped up in them.
Joe Sherbert, Miles Jack.
I hope so.
Miles Jack.
How many corners do you guys need, though?
He couldn't tackle my hand. He'd get confused and overrun it.
How many corners do you guys need, though?
How many corners do we need?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times you play with a fifth nickel package.
Yeah,
nowadays.
So,
what about 30% of the defense is nickel package anymore, isn't it, Austin?
So you're going to spend 30% on a first-round draft pick?
We got 3 of them. My goodness, we had draft picks to burn. You know that.
Okay. Okay.
We know all about that up here.
And I believe Tony Pacelli loves Miss Austin Jackson, the offensive lineman, Brent.
Yeah, well, of course he does.
I think Tony.
No USC
Tony
bias
loves the guy. Tony thinks he's the best lineman was the best lineman in the draft, Brent.
I bet he does. All right, South Beach Area, we got to get rolling here. Thanks for jumping in. We appreciate it. Thanks for listening to Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. I think it's so funny that the Miami Dolphins, for 20 years, they played against Tom Brady, the best quarterback of all time. And the moment that he gets away from their division, they go get every cornerback that ever existed.
Right? Hey, where was that attitude a couple years ago?
Yeah. Now we're afraid of Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, and who else is in that division?
That's pretty much it. Jared Stidham. Yeah.
Come on.
Go get that nickel cornerback in the first round. It's going to serve you well.
Who are we to make fun of it, team?
We're in the same boat right now, Brent. It is what it is.
Yeah. Gotta have fun with it.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back,
Misery
big
loves
fight
company.
night, UFC
in
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Austin breaks that down a little bit. And I do have this Jordan Kerr fighting. Why is this such a big deal? That's coming up on The Last Dance this weekend. Hey, this just in. Teammates in sports fight.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. It's going to be okay.
We're fighting to the finish on a Friday, next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Clouds moving in overnight tonight as temperatures drop to near 60 degrees. A few scattered showers for Saturday, especially in the morning. And it'll be mild, only reaching the mid-70s. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Right now, get 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything in the store. Beards Diamonds. Hey, Jacksonville, are you ready for some good news? Right now, you can score tremendous savings during the construction sale at Arlington Toyota. You choose 0 down with low payments or no payments until 2021. Now that's huge. Get to Arlington today, where you can drive away in a Toyota Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. That's a pre-owned Corolla for $199 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021. How about a Toyota Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments till 2021? That's a pre-owned Camry for $249 a month with 0 down or no payments until 2021. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon
Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And you get Arlington's 30-day exchange policy on any vehicle you purchase. As always, your safety is Arlington's priority. So go see him today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com. May offers for full details.
This is Pastor Abraham Lincoln Washington, and it's time for the truth. There's that big ugly word, divorce. But pump your brakes before you sign the papers. 75% of all marriages ending in divorce never had premarital counseling to prepare for the marriage. The judge is going to tell you, get counseling. This has been Pastor Abraham Lincoln Washington, and the truth will make you free.
These can be unsettling times, but CGC Water Treatment wants you to know that they are there for you and your family. CGC Water Treatment has 50% savings for you. Purchase a Premier Softener and save 50% off a K5, Connecticut's premier reverse osmosis system. When the shelves at the stores are empty, it's a great feeling to have purified water right at home. Call 904-694-2242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Connecticut dealer.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Light Bulb Depot, Johnson's Crane Service, Wireworks Electrical, Orenders Heating and Air, The Hall Closet Consignment. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You like money. I suggest you get your voice looked at.
It's allergy season.
It seems to be always allergy season, Stugatz.
That's because it is.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Aren't you ready to celebrate life again? From birthdays to anniversaries, nothing is as memorable as a one-of-a-kind piece of jewelry from Beard's Diamonds.
Beard's announces our most exciting offer ever.
Get 5 years, zero interest financing on anything and everything.
How about a $6,000 Tacori or Veragio ring? You pay just $100 a month. Or a pair of diamond studs for $3,000? You pay just $50 a month.
5 years, zero interest financing for the entire month.
Get her that designer setting she's been dreaming about and spread your payments out over 60 months.
Shop the largest showroom in North Florida with plenty of room to social distance and take advantage of the rock bottom prices Beards is known for.
Get 5 years zero interest financing on anything and everything.
Only at Beards Diamonds. Fully staffed and locally owned at the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
See the difference. Save thousands.
We've had our new AC unit from Bold City Heating and Air for over a year now, and the entire experience has been great. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You can trust Bold City Heating and Air just like my family has. Right now, Bold City Heating and Air is offering easy financing for repairs or new air conditioning units, and a $500 cash rebate for new air conditioning installations. Get 0% financing for 12 months. Or 9.9% for up to 96 months. Don't put off that new AC unit or repairs. Get it done now before the season really heats up. The Bold City team is focused on your safety and takes maximum precautions to sanitize and create a safe work zone during these times and all the time. For a free no-obligation consultation and price quote, visit boldcityac.com. Your AC unit is an important investment for you and your family. Do what my family did. You can trust Bold City Heating and Air.
Where is this water coming from?
Who will deliver us lunch?
Why is the air conditioner blowing hot air?
Where can I get a tire fixed?
Do you know someone who can get marker stains out of the carpet?
What do we need to do to get the pool ready?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. 511 Tactical, House Bright Exterior, Riptide Motorsports, Old City Marine, Up the Gutters, Presto Plumbing. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim, Client Relations Manager here at Reliant. Reliant has always been focused on the customer experience. Reliant has been a leader in the industry when it comes to using technology to connect with our clients whenever needed. So while everything around us continues to change and other contractors are scrambling to adapt to the new normal, Reliant remains steadfast, ready to serve our clients. Our client coordinators are available to discuss your roofing, solar, and hurricane shutter projects, so give us a call today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Land of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe to our podcast because I'm not that type of person. I'm not that desperate. But no, seriously, subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Tiger's pretty familiar with this. Obviously, when you were putting the jacket on me, it fit perfect. Thank you. And then this is the trophy for the match. I don't know, actually, Tiger, if you know what this looks like. You might have caught a glimpse, but that's actually what the trophy looks like had you would have won.
Understood. Hold on one second. I just got an ice bath. I'm a little bit chilly. I saw the green jacket on here. I feel better.
Well played, sir. Yeah, well played.
Well, I didn't see that, but I'm assuming that was their pump up for the match on May 24th. Mickelson and Woods, Ernie in there as well, because it's going to be on TNT. That'll be a good one. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady.
Thanks for that context. I had no idea what was going on in that audio clip.
Yeah, it's on May 24th. It's going to be down at Seminole now. That's where Tiger's a member, and they're going to have it on TV, so it should be pretty good.
They were getting into it. Peyton Manning was making fun of Tom Brady for getting in trouble in Tampa Bay.
Oh, really?
They were.
That's
yeah. I think the audio's here.
I think that's the fun stuff of those guys, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what you learn. You learn a little bit about Jordan during this old documentary. Of
course, man.
That they talk trash, man.
Yep.
That to me humanizes them because we've all been there on a basketball court. We don't have to have that game to talk trash. Wherever you do it.
No. I can get 3 rebounds and no points. I'm talking trash.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, go watch my Jacksonville Giants highlights. I was talking so much trash. I really didn't do anything.
It's the fun part of sports.
Yeah.
And that you can go have a drink with the guy after, or the team after or whatever.
Yeah.
And that is the fun part of sports. Here's Peyton Manning ripping on Brady.
Ernie, the course, the tournament had to be in Florida. After Tom's B&E arrest, with the ankle monitor, he couldn't leave the state.
So you go.
I like it, Peyton.
Manny's a funny guy,
He's a good guy, man. Yeah.
He is funny.
Yeah.
So I think this will be good for Brady.
Mm-hmm.
See, Tiger's had a nice resurgence. Mickelson is kind of I know some people hate him. Or they think he's phony and stuff. And if
that's your hero, Brent. Be honest.
Well, I don't know about my hero. Probably from a golf standpoint, more Tiger.
Yeah,
but it
he's,
used to be you had to be a Phil or
left-handed.
Tiger guy, and I was a both. I like them both. So,
okay.
But Mickelson is a fan favorite. There are some detractors, but he's a fan favorite. Manning has been that way, but Brady we haven't seen like this a lot. Right, we haven't seen behind the curtain.
We just see him at the Kentucky Derby getting plastered once a year, and that's about it.
That's it. And I think we're going to see more of that now that he's outside of Foxborough. Sure. I think we might find out that Brady is more like this, but he couldn't be like this when he was in New England. Now, maybe he didn't want to be. Find that out in a book someday. But could we find out that, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this part of it. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to show personality. And he did. The only time you ever saw personality from Tom Brady is if he said something on the radio show that he did like every Monday morning, or when he tweeted like a hype video out on Facebook.
But even then, like you remember, like one of his very first videos was him and Rob Gronkowski, and I forgot like what the what it even was about, but it was just them kind of smiling through an airport or something, like smiling like we're coming back or something like that.
Yeah, that's
but
what. Yeah,
like
that's
there
right.
was like zero context to it. They're just smiling. I'm like, okay, Tom.
And it's now just like a GIF basically that they use.
Exactly.
All right, hey, real quick.
Yeah.
How much you fought all the time in practice? This week on The Last Dance, Jordan and Kerr, they're going to really break down that fight, right? Where they kind of went at it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. Or is it a bigger deal because it's Jordan fighting in practice? When your best player, would it be like Minshew or your quarterback fighting and taking swings in practice? Would that have a different tone even on the football field?
Would it have a different tone? Absolutely. If we go out there and Gardner Minshew gets in a fight, are we sitting back thinking like, what is going on? Yes, absolutely. And you know what? And the sports media journalist in me would say, well, this is crazy. We got quarterbacks fighting each other now. But you know what? The football player in me, the guy that's been in locker rooms before, would go, you know what? Quarterbacks getting in a fight. The best player on the team maybe getting in a fight. I love it, man. I'm all about it because it shows that, you know, the quarterback position or the best player on the team like Michael Jordan, dude, he's on a pedestal, Brent. Like, this guy, when he's in the locker room, he has his own section. He has his own security. Like, he's not really part of the team. So when you have a guy that, you know, is willing to fight somebody over whatever discrepancy, if they're not working hard enough or disagreement, it shows that they're passionate. It kind of reinforces the idea of like, yes, this guy's the leader, and you know what? This guy cares that much. I can go to war with him any day of the week. So with that being said, I'm all for it. Whether it would be Michael Jordan, I mean, obviously you don't see your quarterback getting in a fight on the field, and hopefully he doesn't get injured. But I'm just saying, if he got in a little verbal altercation, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I just think it's not that surprising.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I understand. First of all, this is fun for the documentary. I get it. You know, I'm not dumb. The thing has caught everybody's attention, and this is another element of it.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's that surprising. I mean, again, do I think Larry Bird got in fights in practice with players? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably did.
Yeah.
I just think it's a team sport type of thing. I mean, it's a competitive type of thing.
Yeah.
What I think this showcases a lot is just how much competitive nature there is in practice. Mm-hmm. See, when we go watch a football practice, you don't feel that. They don't want people getting hurt.
Yeah.
So to me, at least what we get to see in the media, it's not like it's a Monday night.
Yeah.
You know, and you're under the lights playing a game. Heck, it's not like it's a Sunday afternoon. I know they might be intense at times, and there might be some kind of like emotions get going. And I'm not saying guys don't try.
Yeah.
But what we're learning in the Jordan documentary, at least back in the 90s, those practices, man, they were knockout, drag down kind of, especially with Team USA. I mean, that was a great indication of it.
And that's why I love so much to practice with the Jacksonville Giants, right? The Jacksonville Giants, in terms of ABA basketball, I mean, they're the team, right?
Yeah.
No one can beat them in everything.
Best.
They've been the best for a long time now. And I remember when I showed up for practice, and dude, I'm nervous. Like, I haven't shot a basketball in forever. I'm like, I'm going to make a fool of myself. But like, I remember when I got there, and a couple players reiterated this point to me. They're like, this is the game right here. Like, when we go out there and play, I think it was on Saturday night, like, when we go out there and play, we're going to win. That's what we do. But, like, this right here, this is where we get better. Like, this is the true game right here. I'm like, okay. Like, I didn't really buy into it. But then, like, I was sitting on the bench and watching them go back and forth, and they weren't lying, Brent. I'm talking, like, basketball is getting thrown in the stands a little bit, just like we saw Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff happened at an ABA game, okay? And let's be honest. I mean, as far as competition, like, yeah, the competition's great and everything, but these guys don't maybe have aspirations to play in the NBA. Like, they understand what's up right now. It's an ABA league, and they are where they are. But, like, they still care. They're still competitive. And guess what? That's why they're so good at it. So to say Michael Jordan, like, are you going to be disappointed if he throws the punch at Steve Kerr and we kind of see the behind the scenes a little bit? Well, you shouldn't, okay? Because you can go on the highway, someone cuts you off, what are you going to do? You're going to flick them off and probably want to fight them. You're going to have that moment of rage where it's like, well, screw this guy, I want to do something about it. Go play video games with your children sometime. See how they talk to each other online. Coos, you can back me up. I'm sure you've had a couple choice words to some strangers online. You know why?
Mute everybody that's not on my team.
Well, smart. You know why? Because there's competitive people out there, right? And they get upset when they lose.
Or they're just trolls.
Or they're trolls too. But there's some competitive people out there who get mad when they lose.
I just want to make a clarification here at 5:47 on a Friday. We did not encourage road rage or child abuse here on the show.
No, I said go play video games with your children. I don't say, like, that's not what I meant. I said, like, go listen to what your kids say online. Brent, stop twisting my words, man. But listen.
Oh, you were saying not playing against your kids. Okay.
No. But
I thought you were saying if you lost to your kids in video games.
No, not at all, man. But I guess, what I'm trying to say through this synopsis here, my thesis on my whole TED talk about beating up your children, supposedly, is the fact that everyone's competitive. Whether it's playing a board game, whether it's professional sports, there is competition. And sometimes competition, whether it's family, teammates, a brotherhood, strangers, competition is going to breed some kind of animosity.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm not going to judge Michael Jordan what happens here. I mean, literally there's nothing Michael Jordan can do in this documentary coming up with Steve Kerr where I'm going to be like, oh, he went too far. No, man, because guess what? You're the best of all time. You can go too far and get away with it.
You can push those buttons. All right.
Yes,
Hey, we got to let you talk about UFC 249.
Real quick,
coming
yeah.
up tomorrow night
Yeah.
here in Jacksonville. Live sporting event. First time in months right here in Jacksonville. It's on ESPN Plus and then pay-per-view. Give us some of the headliners, however you want to break it down.
So,
it's a great card, right?
So it's a great card. It's one of the best cards of all time. Okay? And
you said that with Dana White last week, or earlier in the week.
And am I kind of bummed that I can't go to it? You're damn right I am. Am I kind of bummed that I've been doing interviews with the Times Union? They're asking me all these MMA questions and they're not going to use their credentials? Oh, yeah, I'm a little bummed about that. Am I a little bummed that I'm probably going to turn on the TV and see Lenny Curry with about 30 of his family and friends sitting front row on their cell phones not watching the fight? Yeah, I'm a little bummed about it, but you know what? Let's get through this card. UFC 249, here we go. I'm going to fight through the tears. Listen, usually I would say check out the main event, check out the co-main event, check out the third fight from the main event. But, and listen, I'm not getting paid by ESPN. I'm not getting paid by the UFC. I'm just talking to you as a fan of fights. I'm telling you right now that you need to schedule, check your local listings, first of all. But you need to go ahead and make a schedule. Saturday evening, 6:30, you got to watch these fights, all right? ESPN Plus and the regular ESPN channel. Now, listen, we don't have that much time. I can't go through every single fight, okay? But the main event of the early prelims, Vincent Luque versus Nico Price. Nico Price, Florida-born, Florida-raised. He's kind of one of those homegrown guys. One of the only guys I've ever seen knock out somebody from his back. So when I say that, the guy was like on top of him, he threw an elbow, knocked him out cold. Ooh. Yeah, nasty. Taking on Vincent Luque, who only knows one thing, to go forward and lower his chin. So this is going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be a Pier 6 brawl. Check that one out. The early prelims, if you will.
Is Pier 6 brawl, is that kind of like a thing? Is that kind of like a
Pier
how
6
you
brawl.
Describe it?
That's how CM Punk used to describe it back in his wrestling days.
Right,
so that's how I'm going to describe it. And the prelims, then, once again, I can go on and on about this. We got Jacare Souza taking on Uriah Hall. Versus a ninja. See what happens there. Michelle Watterson, the karate hottie, very aesthetically pleasing for all you guys out there that are casual MMA fans, taking on Carla Esparza. Once again, karate versus wrestling. Check that out. Alexei Olenek, who is probably 60 years old, has over 80 MMA fights, known as the human boa constrictor for a reason. Great jiu-jitsu. Guess who he's fighting, Brent? Another jiu-jitsu technician. We're going to have a grappling matchup between Fabricio Verdum. Verdum hasn't fought in over, I think, 2 or 3 years. That'll be a great one.
Is Olenek an analyst?
No, you're thinking John Anik. Close, though. I see you doing a little homework. I mean, you kind of got a D on that, but you're still doing a little homework. It's okay. And then Anthony Pettis taking on Donald Cerrone. That's the main event of the prelims, by the way. This is like a main event quality match right here on the prelims. Cowboy Cerrone fighting on the prelims. So,
I watched Pettis fight his last fight, I think it was.
Remember I told you? Yeah, he's the ninja guy. Exactly. So, Cowboy Cerrone's a fan favorite. This will be a great one as well. Now let's go to the pay-per-view card real quick here. Greg Hardy, Yorgan De Castro. Obviously, Greg Hardy, we know who he is. Yorgan De Castro. Hey, UFC, be a little more disrespectful to my man Yorgan De Castro. Don't even have a picture on him on the fight card. It's just a black
profile.
thing. Yeah, it's like you're playing Mortal Kombat and your opponent hasn't selected his player yet.
By the way, I have a do not show Greg Hardy or talk about him rule here at Action Sports Jacks. You can, but we don't.
Oh, you asked. You asked Dana White about him, but it's okay though. I didn't forget about that.
That was more trying to get a compliment out of him for you.
I appreciate it. No, listen, I mean, obviously you got 2 heavyweights together. Sparks are going to fly. Greg Hardy, I think he has the advantage, the power, obviously, athleticism, the striking. But don't sleep on Yorgan De Castro. Okay, this guy's got great timing. He's got great striking as well. So, something's got to give him this one. Greg Hardy's cardio could be a question. I think De Castro can probably go a little longer than he can. So does De Castro try to take it to deeper rounds, put Greg Hardy in deeper water? We'll see.
Let me ask you a question on that, seriously speaking. Is Hardy done better than you thought he would do in this?
Honestly, about the same. I thought he'd actually do a little better. His last fight against Volkanovski on short notice, fought him, I think, over in Europe. But Volkanovski's he's like a 6'7" kind of Thai boxer kind of style dude. He didn't look that good against Volkanovski. So, or Volkov, I'm sorry. But so, yeah, I mean, I think Hardy's kind of done what you think he's done.
6-2, right? Or 5-2? I think he's 5-2.
5-2, correct. Yep. Jeremy Stevens, Calvin Kattar. So, Listen, when I said I was excited for the UFC fights to come to Jacksonville, I didn't want them to go out without a hitch. Well, this is the hitch, okay? And then it's not a really big deal because it happens all the time, but this is the hitch. Jeremy Stevens comes in to the weigh-ins this morning, weighs 5 pounds over. Not good. Okay, usually you can weigh 2 or 3 pounds over, and it's like, oh, well, you got to take a percentage. But 5 pounds is a lot of weight. So I'm not sure if this was COVID-19 related, if it was training, whatever it was, but he came in 5 pounds overweight. Thankfully, though, for the sake of this card, the fight is still going to continue. Jeremy Stevens is going to lose 30% of his purse. So regardless of what happens with Cater, he's getting that money. So that fight is still on, but he's going to have a 5-pound advantage.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
What happens with he can gain as much as he wants? Or will there be another category that he can't exceed, and there'll be more bonus money or more contract money?
So since he was 5 pounds over at the weigh-in, now like it's over. So like what you weigh when you go in the cage, you can weigh whatever.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yep, exactly.
Even if you didn't weigh in correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Francis Ngannou versus Rozenstruik. I talked about Francis Ngannou a little bit to you.
You did.
This guy grew up in Africa in the salt mines. Okay, like this guy, no one has ever called out Francis Ngannou for good reason. I haven't called him out. Would I fight him? Yeah, probably, but I'm not going to call him out. Rozenstruik has called him out, all right? So Rozenstruik and Ngannou, both guys I think are actually born in Africa. Ngannou moved to France when he was young or whatever like that. But needless to say, both guys pack power, all right? This is going to be an absolute war of nutrition. I get what people could say. Francis Ngannou, sometimes he's on, sometimes he's off. We're reminded about Derek Lewis, where it was him and Derek Lewis, the Black Beast. Everybody said, well, it's going to be one for the ages, and it was probably the most boring fight of all time. Ngannou's different now. I think Ngannou learned from that Derek Lewis fight. He's changed up his training a little bit. He's changed up his mindset. And you know Rozenstruik's down. Rozenstruik coming off a knockout to Alistair Overeem. Showed you those pictures where he busted his lip open. Keep in mind,
that was nasty.
Keep in mind, he was down that entire fight. Knocked him out in the 5th round. So it goes to show you that Rozenstruik's got some pretty good cardio, and he has the mental capacity. Should be a good fight. Co-main event, Henry Cejudo, Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz coming back off of injury. Analyst, everybody knows him. I think it's been like 3 years since he's fought, taking on Henry Cejudo. They call him Triple C. He's won a gold medal, and he's a 2-weight division champion right now. It'll be a good one. You know, Dominic Cruz, probably the most unorthodox fighter you're ever going to see in the UFC, versus Henry Cejudo, who does things very well in terms of grappling, using his striking to set up takedowns. Can he keep Dominic Cruz down? That's the big question. 5-round fight. Cardio is going to be on display. And then the main event, I don't got to say much more, man. We've been talking about it all week. Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje. I'm going to say it right now, okay? This fight, and I get anything can happen in fights, right? You can go down on the ground, some guy get taken down, wrestling, whatever. No. This fight right here will deliver. I guarantee it. I've never really had any guarantees on the show before, but I guarantee that as long as this fight is like standing up and someone's still conscious, this will be a crazy fight. There you go.
I love it. Yeah. That is tomorrow night. Everything starts around 6:30.
6:30.
ESPN Plus, I think, starts at around
Check your local listings.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then the pay-per-view around 10 o'clock. Nice work. Outside of the main event, what's your second best fight? Ooh. If you had to watch one other fight, pick one for everybody.
Okay. Outside of the main event, go ahead and give me Vince Luque and Nico Price.
Okay.
And that's going to be in the prelims.
Okay, so that's early in the night.
Early in the night.
All right, so check that one out.
Yeah.
All right, that will do it. Hope you had a good week, everybody. Predict the Jags to go 16-0. And you'll really go into the weekend feeling very good about yourselves. By the way, you see the Blue Angels today?
Missed them.
Coos?
I fell asleep on the couch.
Oh, my God. Well, I didn't either. I was actually out on the golf course. I didn't see him. I thought I'd see him. But obviously everybody in town got video of him. Yeah. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
So that was
I saw pictures. I missed them though too.
And by the way, that was a beautiful day to be able to do it, and also that was a nod to obviously all the frontline workers during COVID-19. So nice gesture by everybody there. Blue Angels, always pretty cool to see up in the sky. Watch us on TV all weekend long. We'll break down some of the fights tomorrow night. We'll have the coverage. Marcel Robinson will be there covering the event, so whatever goes down, he'll have that. It'll be Action Sports Jax primetime, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. Thanks for hanging out with us here on ESPN 690. Everybody, we'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. Hope you catch the show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. But if you can't catch it, or if you want to go back and listen again, check out the Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 podcast. Just search ESPN 690 in your podcast app.
This